Welcome to South River High School in Papetti Field in Edgewater, Maryland, as CN8 brings you high school football action as the South River Seahawks take on the Old Mill Patriots. A pleasant good evening and welcome. Joe Miller alongside Pete Medhurst. And Pete, both these teams come in 2-1. They both made the playoffs last year and both have something to prove, especially this South River team that wants to be considered in the upper echelon of Anne Arundel County.
Absolutely, Joe. Old Mill, they've already proven with the pudding there. They've been in the playoffs 9 consecutive seasons. And South River, on the other hand, when we were back in school, South River was a dominant program under the great Joe Papetti, but it has been a long time since they have tasted playoff success, finally making it back to the playoffs last year. But they did it via a forfeit win from me just to qualify. Last week, they lost a critical game to an upstart Chesapeake team and really gave away 8 critical playoff points, making tonight's game almost a must-win against a quality Old Mill team.
And as we've talked about earlier in this season, 2007, the year of the quarterback in Anne Arundel County, and one of the most accurate is Old Mill Junior Grant Enders.
Yeah, 2 good ones here tonight. Grant Enders last week, nearly perfect, Joe. 14 of 15 for the Patriots. And when you just like when we talked about Arundel earlier in the year, when you let this Old Mill passing game get in a rhythm, they have guys that can make big plays. They don't necessarily have to catch it 40, 50 yards downfield, but they've got the skill people, Joe, who can take the short 10, 15-yard pass and make it 40 or 50 in a hurry.
As far as South River is concerned, they like to run the football, and they do it quite well. They're averaging 6.5 yards per carry, and they're led by their senior running back, Elliott Long.
Elliott Long with a couple of touchdowns, over 300 yards rushing, coupled with the fact that they can give it to a Drew Lee, that they have a great quarterback in Cooper. This is an offense for South River that really has no excuses to sputter. They've got some quality skill people, Joe. They're going to have to come up with some big plays here tonight.
Well, it's South River 2-1, Old Mill 2-1. It's homecoming here in Edgewater, and the opening kickoff is next. Welcome to South River High School in Papetti Field in Edgewater, Maryland, as CN8 brings you high school football action as the South River Seahawks take on the Old Mill Patriots. A pleasant good evening and welcome. Joe Miller alongside Pete Medhurst. And Pete, both these teams come in 2-1. They both made the playoffs last year and both have something to prove, especially this South River team that wants to be considered in the upper echelon of Anne Arundel County.
Absolutely, Joe. Old Mill, they've already proven with the pudding there. They've been in the playoffs 9 consecutive seasons. And South River, on the other hand, when we were back in school, South River was a dominant program under the great Joe Papetti, but it has been a long time since they have tasted playoff success, finally making it back to the playoffs last year. But they did it via a forfeit win from me just to qualify. Last week, they lost a critical game to an upstart Chesapeake team and really gave away 8 critical playoff points, making tonight's game almost a must-win against a quality Old Mill team.
And as we've talked about earlier in this season, 2007, the year of the quarterback in Anne Arundel County, and one of the most accurate is Old Mill Junior Grant Enders.
Yeah, 2 good ones here tonight. Grant Enders last week, nearly perfect, Joe. 14 of 15 for the Patriots. And when you just like when we talked about Arundel earlier in the year, when you let this Old Mill passing game get in a rhythm, they have guys that can make big plays. They don't necessarily have to catch it 40, 50 yards downfield, but they've got the skill people, Joe, who can take the short 10, 15-yard pass and make it 40 or 50 in a hurry.
As far as South River is concerned, they like to run the football, and they do it quite well. They're averaging 6.5 yards per carry, and they're led by their senior running back, Elliott Long.
Elliott Long with a couple of touchdowns, over 300 yards rushing, coupled with the fact that they can give it to a Drew Lee, that they have a great quarterback in Cooper. This is an offense for South River that really has no excuses to sputter. They've got some quality skill people, Joe. They're going to have to come up with some big plays here tonight.
Well, it's South River 2-1, Old Mill 2-1. It's homecoming here in Edgewater, and the opening kickoff is next.
The model year-end clearance 10 event is going on now at your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers. It's the perfect time to drive the new vehicle you've always wanted and get the best warranty in the business. Right now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% APR financing for 72 months on Chrysler Town & Country, Jeep Commander, or Dodge Durango, or get up to $6,000 cash allowance on select models. Plus, get the best warranty in the business, our exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty. That's an offer no one else matches. Hurry, the model year-end clearance 10 event ends soon at your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers.
If you do not have health insurance, have limited health insurance, or are uninsurable, and you are worried about the cost of health care, this announcement is for you. For a little more than $2 a day, your entire family can save thousands of dollars on your medical expenses, thanks to Synergy Health. With more than 600,000 providers around the country, Synergy Health can save you from 20 to 60% on doctors, labs, x-rays, hearing, vision, prescriptions, and even dental care. Plus, you'll get great savings on chiropractic, alternative medicine, and much more. And here's the best part. Synergy Health offers guaranteed acceptance to everyone. No matter what your health history or income, at the same low price. Call our 800 number and learn how Synergy Health is helping families like yours for just over $2 a day. There's no obligation and the information is free.
Call 1-800-209-9140. That's 1-800-209-9140. Call 1-800-209-9140.
And welcome back to Papetti Field here in South River as 2-1 South River gets set for 2-1 Old Mill. And Pete, I know it's only week 4, but this is, as you mentioned in the opening, this is a crucial playoff game as far as the 4 East region seedings are concerned.
No question, South River gave away 8 points from losing to Chesapeake last week. I mean, those are 8 points that when you're in an airtight race, especially, and we'll show you later on the county standings and the other 4A teams that are all in the same MPSSAA 4A East region, you'll see exactly what we're talking about as every game critical for these teams. You cannot give away the games where you're the better team, and in this case, South River did that last week. That, thus, I think, makes this a must game right here. And for Old Mill, who had a heartbreaking loss to Broadneck a couple of weeks ago, Joe, on a late play, there you see Damian Ferragamo, who has done a super job. I mean, when you take over for a long-time coach, Mike Marcus did such a super job here at Old Mill. Damian has stepped in and done a very nice job keeping Old Mill not only at that level, but continuing them into the postseason. And over the last few seasons, they have had some success sending some kids on to college who have performed pretty admirably at the college level.
Yeah, they've won 6 straight times against this South River team. As we mentioned, Ferragamo, a 93 grad of North County, played his college football at Salisbury, was also a head coach in Prince George's County at Parkdale High School, but he has maintained what Mike Marcus has started here at Old Mill, and it's quite the tradition. They've had numerous guys headed to the next level. There is head coach Steve Erksleben for South River in his 3rd season, a 97 graduate of Bowie High School, played at Frostburg State. And you know, we talked about it before, 1991, the last time South River made it to the playoffs. Erksleben got them there last year, and they're looking to build on that this season.
Well, Joe, I mean, and I think it's a great job. He's got Mitch Suplee on the staff, the former South River Seahawk, and Maryland Terrapin, starred in the Arena League with former South River Seahawk John Kaleo. You know, you got to reestablish that tradition. You got to have somebody who was a part of that tradition. And Mitch Suplee played under the great Joe Papetti here. I played against Mitch when I was at Southern. Mitch is one of the top offensive linemen in Anne Arundel County history. In my opinion, a bona fide Anne Arundel County Hall of Fame member later on in a few more years. There's no question about that, as Mitch will do a great job with this offensive line. But you've got to have somebody who understands the tradition of South River, who can relay it to the kids and make them want to be a part of what at one point was a great tradition. Ray Kingsfield lead them to the 84 state finals against Kennedy. You know, guys like Travis Naylor, Mitch, Richie Simmons, just to name a few. I mean, just so many great players here at South River. And right now, Joe, they've got as good a trio in that backfield as they've ever had here. And certainly they've put all their cards on the table, expecting a big year this season.
We mentioned Elliott Long in the opening. We'll also see Drew Lee, the transfer from DeMatha Old Mill, will take the football to start things. Teeing it up is Blake Alderman for the Seahawks. The Seahawks in their blue uniforms with the silver helmets.
Anthony Edwards and Stuart Johnson back deep for the Patriots. And Joe, special teams make such a big key. We saw that in our game earlier this year with Arundel and Broadneck. Brandon Johnson-Farrell able to take a kickoff back for a big touchdown.
Wind will be a factor. It's blowing left to right, and that takes the kick down to the 2-yard line, where it's picked up there by Anthony Edwards. Edwards across the 20 to the 25 and brought down at the 26-yard line, and that's where Old Mill will start on offense after a 23-yard return by Edwards.
Yeah, it's a tough coverage right there by South River, because the guy started at one corner and then tried to come back across the field. Good job by the Seahawks to remain in their lanes coming down the field. Justin Schenkel with the first hit, the sophomore for the Seahawks.
There's the junior quarterback, was fantastic last week. 14 out of 15, leads the county in completion percentage, and he runs this spread offense for the Old Mill Patriots. Motion man to the near side. Here's the handoff in the backfield. It's Jason Clements across the 30 to the 33-yard line, a pickup of 7 yards. Second down and short for the Patriots.
Joe, this is why I love this offense, especially at the high school level.
you've got everybody spread out. It puts your talented running back in one-on-one situations, and that time Clement's able to get 7 on first down.
Clement's a sophomore. He'll start in the backfield. Yonker, the fullback. Ben Marshall, the tight end when they use it. Coates at the wide receiver. Bishop, McKernan, Brown, Hamilton, and Zimmerman, the big men up front for the Patriots. 2 receivers to the near, 2 to the far. Man coverage by the Seahawks in press coverage. Enders in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff. He'll keep it off the right side, looking for some room to the outside. First down and more to the 40, and brought down at the 45-yard line. A pickup of 11 yards. Tackle made by Travis Williams.
Let's take a look at the South River defense. Damian Ferragamo and company send in another play after the great play there by the quarterback up top at the nose. David Chavies with a big job tonight. Travis Williams and job 4. Zach Tucker, Phil Cloud, Chad Beavers, and Justin Shankle at the linebackers. And in the secondary, Barney, Moore, Toll, and Neasley. Joe, these guys will have a tough night here. They have got the big matchups with the guys spread out all over the field here for Old Mill.
1st and 10 at the 45, just underway. Once again, off the right side, Clements looking for some room, not much there. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10 upcoming for the Patriots.
Joe, great job that time by Chad Devers, 57, the linebacker, fighting off his man, fighting off the block that time, and making a sure tackle out on the perimeter out there for a loss of 2 yards on the play.
For the Patriots.
So far, 3 plays, 3 runs for this spread offense. Enders coming in with 702 passing yards on the season, 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Watch them setting something up here, Joe. They've got all the South River defenders right now within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage.
A loss of 1 on the last play. It's Clements straight ahead, nothing there. Tackle made by Chavies, number 90. A loss of 1 on the play as Clements stopped at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long upcoming for the Patriots.
5'9", 290 pounds of Mr. Chavies, and he just simply beat his man at the point of the attack. And again, the tackling in the last 2 plays for South River, very impressive. When you hit people, bring them down in the open field. Chavies with a super individual effort that time from the nose guard position.
3rd down and long. Old Mill needs the South River 45 for a first down. Enders drops back to pass. Looks over the middle, and in and out of the hands, and it's caught. Completion for a first down. Now they wave it off. It looked like Coates pulled it in, but the officials rule it incomplete. And 4th and long for the Patriots as Alphonse Coates, the intended recipient of that pass.
Wow. Take a look at this, Joe. Watch the ball right here. I'm not sure if that ball ever hit the ground. He caught that. That ball popped up in the air and landed right on his belly.
So now Enders, who handles the punts in punt formation. Low line drive. Drew Lee on the return at the 15-yard line, looking for some room on the near sideline. Pushed out at the 25. A return of 6 yards. 1st and 10 for the Seahawks.
Drew Lee, growing up a star in the South River Gators Youth League program. He was a legend before he even got to high school. And now back at his home school after trying it at the Mathis. So many times, Joe, we see it. You see a lot of these guys. We've seen it this past year. A lot of guys try these private schools. They don't necessarily get all the playing time they're promised. And now they come back to their public school programs, once again, looking to make a name for themselves.
40-yard punt. Bobby Cooper, the starting quarterback for the Seahawks, under center. The senior starts at the 25. It's long and nothing there as he's pushed back. Number 76, Kevin Hahn, first on the scene for the Old Mill defense, along with Joe Salvatore.
Joe, it's almost as if the South River offensive line forgot to block 3 guys. Long got the ball, 3 white shirts, breaking down, ready to tackle him at the point of the attack. As there you see Bobby Cooper, the outstanding quarterback for the Seahawks.
4 touchdowns coming in their matchup against Northeast in week 2. He's already been offered by Towson University. He is considered a D1 prospect.
And as a Towson grad, you would encourage him to choose Towson.
It's a fine school. 2nd and long. And it's Drew Lee out of the shotgun. Not much there. Knocked back again. And it's Salvatore, 32. A loss of 4 on the play.
Joe Salvatore, 5'10", 180-pounder. They also had a guy running the play down from behind, so good pursuit down the line of scrimmage. as we take a look at these South River skill folks with Long, Kneasley, Gommeljack, Spadaro, and Thrift. And up front, Beach, Russo, Devers, Poor, and Mahler.
So not the situation the Seahawks want to be in. 3rd and long. 13 yards to go. They need the 35 of Old Mill for a first down. They'll spread things out. 2 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. Long, the single man in the backfield. Play action fake. In trouble. Cooper backpedals towards his own end zone. Fires. Incomplete. Pass was short. Intended for Spadaro. And 3 and out for the Seahawks.
Joe, when you're an I formation team, in these 3rd and long situations, it becomes very easy to defend you because that time they ran 2 receivers to the top of the screen. One guy ran inside the hash mark. Another guy ran a simple down and out. Old Mill had that covered. They had the near side guy covered, and Cooper made a heck of a play just to try and make something happen there as he was under duress almost from the start.
Alderman to punt. Stewart Johnson back deep for the Patriots. High snap, and we have a whistle and a flag. Tonight's official, Kelly Barr.
Take a look at our crew headed up by referee Mike Malone, Michael Morris, Steve Rosenfield, Dwayne Hart, who threw that flag there, the line judge, Vinnie Ferrelli, longtime official, is the back judge, Kelly Barr, the head linesman, working this game here this evening for the champion officials group. These guys do a heck of a job. Saw the Northeast Southern game last week. Same crew, Joe, that did our Arundel Broadneck game earlier this year, which we thought they did a super job in that game. These guys work hard each and every weekend.
Alderman standing at his own 1-yard line. Johnson will take it at the 48. Loses the football, but it bounces right back into his chest. And Old Mill will have good field position. A 26-yard punt, 6-yard return. And they'll start in South River territory.
Jamie Wilson getting down on special teams for the Seahawks. And again, field position, Joe, Old Mill can't ask for better field position here. You're starting in South River territory at the 43-yard line. We talked about them setting things up with all those running plays early, too, out of the spread, Joe. The one time they did go to the air, they had their man open. He just didn't hang onto the ball in the eyes of the officials. That's why you run all those plays early. Now you got everybody spread out.
Clements up the middle, not much there, push back. Give Jason a couple of yards on that carry. Clements, a sophomore this year, played a lot as a freshman last year, averaged over 6 yards a carry, and this is a guy that they think has a bright future.
Yeah, no doubt. And you look at the great succession of skilled people that Old Mill has had, of course, Ryan Callahan, who was a terrific running back at Old Mill. And, people don't really understand. When you're a freshman and you make a varsity high school football team, that shows you, and look at his size, too. That tells you a little bit, too, Joe. He's a big guy. Shows you how much confidence they have in his abilities. This is a tough program to play in as a sophomore, let alone a freshman.
6.5 minutes to go, first quarter, 2nd down and 8. Enders will roll it to the near side, fires, and incomplete. Bounces too short, intended for number 23, Devontae Saunders. 3rd and long upcoming for the Patriots.
Yeah, that time Enders, a little bit of pressure coming from the top of the screen, able to get it off. Clements that time did a nice job in blocking as a running back, picking up the man coming off of the near side edge. Enders really wasn't able, though, to step into that throw with the pressure coming from the top, and as a result, the ball ended up a little bit short.
A 3rd and long situation for the Patriots. Enders looks right, pressure, steps, and finds Drew Coates for a first down right at the sticks at the 32. Should be a pickup of 9 yards and a first down for the Patriots.
Yeah, that's a super play by Coates. A heady play. He goes down, drives his man, and turns. He's beyond the sticks. So many times in high school football, you see a receiver go down the field and he turns up short. That time, Coates drove his man past the stick, so when he turned, basically it was a button hook. When he turned, he was right at the stick for the first down. As you see, Old Mill, the edge right now in the total yards early.
1st and 10 at the 32. Clements, not much there again. He keeps those legs churning and picks up nearly 4 or 5 yards. Nice effort there by the sophomore Clements.
Was indeed, Joe. He kept the legs moving because he had guys draped on him from the beginning of the play. Travis Williams of South River had him basically within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, but Clements got into that big pile and just kept the legs moving and carried people for a solid gain on first down. That's as good a gain as Old Mill has had on first down in the last few sets of downs.
Clements with 14 yards on 5 carries. Second down and 6 with 5.5 to play here in the first quarter. In and out of the hands of Saunders. Coverage there by Wesley Moore, but for Devontae Saunders, that's one he needs to bring in. 3rd and long once again for the Patriots.
And perhaps he heard the feet of Moore coming at him, and anytime a wide receiver opens himself up in that situation, you're always concerned about getting the Rydell right in the rib cage. Watch the matchup at the top of the screen, though, Joe. Enders only looked to the near side of the field. He never gave the top side a look. I think Coates has a little bit of a matchup up at the top of the screen right now, at least good enough to get the first down here.
Johnson in motion. 3rd and 6. Pump, fake, and go. Down the near sideline, it's Saunders who pulls it in. Inside the 10, down at the 7-yard line.
Joe, that was picture-perfect fake. Nice job that time by Saunders, who sold it with the hesitation. Enders, the solid pump fake. Sometimes you'll see quarterbacks, even at the college level, they'll kind of half-heartedly give you that fake. But Enders did a nice job of selling it. Look at that, see? Shows him the ball, and then the great touch on the pass. The ball gets up in the wind, as we mentioned. That's a factor. So it got held up a little bit. Saunders that time, Joe, able to hold on to the football.
22-yard completion. Here's Jenkins, who's their touchdown and short yardage man, taking it down inside the 5 to the 3.
He's one of those guys, Joe, that watches everybody else kind of do some of the work to get down there, and then he's basically the designated battering ram when you get down inside the red zone here inside the 10-yard line. And that time able to drive it down to about the 3-yard line. South River defensive front here. Got to come up with some penetration. Got to win the battle. Get that leverage right here. Get the pad level down. David Chavies and company. Guy working on the nose here. Got to try and get in the backfield and disrupt.
Jenkins had 2 touchdowns last week against Meade, and he's in to the end zone to give the Patriots the early lead. 6-0.
And Joe, we mentioned it earlier. The field position that Old Mill had to start the drive gives Damian Ferragamo the entire playbook to work with. That time, a nice mix of run and pass in the drive. And the Patriots, again, showing you why they're one of the top teams in Anne Arundel County with a super drive here to get on the board first.
Eric Belton in for the extra point, and that's going to be no good. Short and wide to the right. And we'll take a break. Old Mill on the scoreboard first. 4.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. The Patriots lead it 6-0.
The Debt Management Center has helped thousands of consumers just like you finally get control of their credit card debt. Regular people who got in over their heads and just want their lives back.
I had bad credit, over $16,000 in debt. Then I saw the Debt Management Center commercial, picked up the phone, and they helped me right away. They saved me over $7,000 in interest alone.
And it doesn't matter if you own your own home or rent. The Debt Management Center even showed me a way to work with my creditors to eliminate penalties, lower my interest rate, and showed me an affordable payment plan.
The Debt Management Center specializes in helping consumers consolidate their credit cards, collections, late payments, medical bills, and more. Consolidate your debts now and save. Don't let the word bankruptcy enter your thoughts. Tell us how much you can afford to pay each month, and we'll make it happen.
Call now, 800-395-3079.
If you haven't already, pick up the phone and call now.
Stephen Jenkins with the touchdown run, his 3rd of the season. Their short yardage man who had 2 last week against Meade gets the Patriots on the scoreboard first here, 6-0. It'll be interesting to see how the Seahawks react. Tough loss last week. They fall behind here early in the first quarter.
Yeah, and again, when you give away field position right now to a team like Old Mill, they're going to make you pay. When you only make them go 43 yards, Joe, for a score, obviously it makes it that much easier for them here. Let's see if Drew Lee and company can get them a good kickoff return here and get them in some good field position, because South River didn't really have good field position to start their first drive.
Lee and long back deep. Pinckney kicks it off. It'll bounce at the 25, picked up at the 20. Here's Drew Lee up to the 30-yard line, and that's where South River will scrimmage from. A return of 10 yards for Drew Lee.
Good special teams coverage. Been impressed with the coverage teams for both sides so far. Disciplined play with Van Marshall getting down to make the stop. 8 plays, 57 yards, and just a little over 2.5 minutes, Joe, for Old Mill. And again, when you take over in short field position, makes it much easier on the other team.
Seahawks come out, shotgun formation for the senior Cooper. 6'4", 205, high snap, he pulls it in, and he'll take it to the left and pick up a couple yards.
Good job there by Alphonse. Coach thought he overran it for a minute, but he made a nice stop. Hahn, Hawkins, and Nigel Pierce up front for Old Mill. Marvin Pinckney, Joey Hall, Justin Mullins, Anthony Edwards, and Joe Salvatore in the 3-5 front for Old Mill. Davius Dupree, Stephen Jenkins, and Dwayne Goddard in the secondary for the Patriots.
Marvin Pinckney's the leader on defense for Old Mill. He had over 100 tackles last year as a sophomore. He's their leading tackler this season. 2nd down and 8, shotgun formation once again. Cooper flicks it down the field. He's got a man in and out of the hands of Alderman.
Cooper's pass.
3rd and 8 upcoming for the Seahawks.
Joe, South River offensive line did a good job there to give Cooper an opportunity to throw. Old Mill was blitzing right up the middle. They were able to pick that guy up, but it was good coverage for the most part by the Old Mill secondary. Alderman there, but he also had an Old Mill guy standing right behind him.
Total yards, as you see, Old Mill dominating 64-0. Alderman, the leading receiver coming in for the Seahawks. He has 6 catches for 88 yards on this season and 2 touchdowns. He was their leading recipient last year with 20 catches and 542 yards. 3rd and 8 for Cooper and the Seahawks. The handoff. Elliott Long spins his way to the 34-yard line. Another pickup of 2 yards, but that'll bring up 4th down for the Seahawks.
Yeah, another disappointing drive for South River. And the fact, Joe, it's pretty simple for South River. If they're not able to run, then it is going to be a long night for them. And right now, the Old Mill defense in front is doing a solid job right now at the point of the attack. It's that simple.
Alderman in punt formation, standing at his own 16. Johnson back deep for the Patriots. Low kick. That will bounce on the far sideline, and Johnson will let it roll dead at the 30-yard line. 37-yard punt on a nice roll by Alderman.
And again, Old Mill now comes back to work on the offense. And last time, Joe, they were able to show us the balance that makes them such a solid football team. I mean, they are one great play by J.J. Hicks away from being 3-0 coming into this football game. Hicks made a super play in the last minute of the game against Old Mill for Broadneck to give them a 31-28 victory in that contest.
Yeah, they defeated Severna Park in week 1. The heartbreaking loss in week 2, and rebounded nicely against Meade last week. Enders had Saunders, and he overthrows, and it's picked off. Intercepted by the Seahawks. Number 12, Jamie Wilson, down the near sideline. The ball is knocked out of bounds, but Wilson with a big pick for the Seahawks.
Enders tried to go back to the same play he had earlier. The receiver stopped. He was wide open, Joe. The problem was Enders thought he was going to keep going. So when you have that kind of miscommunication on what the pattern is going to be, is an easy interception for Jamie Wilson.
Nice job by Wilson, not only to make the catch, but to keep his footing. And that's a huge play for the Seahawks.
Seahawks needed that badly, Joe. Now they come up with terrific field position here, starting inside the Old Mill 30.
1st and 10 at the 27. Cooper in the shotgun once again. And it's complete inside the 10. Knocked out of bounds inside the 10 at the 8-yard line is Lewandowski, a pickup of 18 yards.
The pattern that time by Lewandowski made the cut to the outside, shielded off the defender, and a great ball by Cooper, Joe, on time. And the Seahawks in business now inside the 10-yard line.
Lewandowski, a 6'3", 185-pound junior. They're starting tight end, making some plays here. 1st and goal to go for the Seahawks at the 8. It's Drew Lee. pushed out of bounds at the 6. Last touch there by Dupree for the Patriots.
Tough, Joe, at any time to run against the speedy defense. Old Mill's got good quickness on defense, and trying to run to the short side of the field, unless you get people walled off quickly, it's going to be a tough go, and that pursuit by Old Mill is outstanding. You mentioned earlier Marvin Pinckney. That's a guy that gets to the football very quickly, and we talked with Navy's Buddy Green, their defensive coordinator, all year long. He's a guy that recruits Anne Arundel County for the Naval Academy, and he loves watching guys that run to the football and get there and make plays. No, the Old Mill defense that time did it.
Elliott Long in the backfield. Cooper, 3-step drop, nothing there. Has to reset, fires to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. There is a flag down. Lewandowski with the reception, but hold it on the flag.
We'll see, Joe. Maybe if it's against South River, they may have either gotten Lewandowski for a push-off or Alderman for almost like a pick running into a guy. We'll see what the call is from Mike Malone here in a moment.
There you see tonight's officials.
It's a holding against Old Mill, and the touchdown will stand.
Lewandowski, his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. He had 2 against Northeast, and now South River an extra point away from taking the lead.
And, Joe, you can see why Cooper's so highly thought of. Struggled on the first drive. They really couldn't get anything going offensively that time. 2 perfectly thrown footballs, and he gets the Seahawks back in business here with a chance to take the lead here if they can convert the extra point.
Greg Kepping in for the extra point. Kepping, a 5'10", 150-pound sophomore.
See if they don't do something funny here. The holder, Jamie Wilson, went to the referee as if to explain something like, hey, you may see this from us. Don't be surprised. We'll see what happens.
Kepping 1 and 2 on the season with extra points, and he drives that through. And South River able to cash in on the Wilson interception and take it down to take the lead here, 7-6.
Well, how many times you see it? Just like Old Mill started their last drive at the 43-yard line, and now, as you watch Cooper here, able to get away from a little bit of the pressure.
There you see the patience you were talking about.
And the poise, Joe, the poise of a quarterback. Throws a perfect football there. And a lot of times high school quarterbacks in that situation, Joe, they bail out by then. They want to start running. They try to, be Joe Hero and try to run to the flag at that point. Cooper just simply waited, showed the patience. Nice touch as Lewandowski got himself free for the touchdown pass.
For Cooper, it's his 5th touchdown pass of the season. 3rd reception for Lewandowski. 27
yards. Again, South River doesn't have to throw a lot, Joe, but, if you can run the football and have some success, they've got some people, and Cooper has the ability to make some plays in the passing game. So, a lot of people I know talk long, they talk Lee and things of that nature, but when they have to throw, Cooper is able to do that.
Alderman will kick off for South River. There you see back deep, Anthony Edwards for the Patriots.
And if Bobby Cooper is able to go to Towson, he would start his college career at Navy next year.
Sean Schaefer, the current quarterback, who was a outstanding high school player at Calvert High, still got 1 more year left. As it's Edwards on the return, cuts around at the 25 to the 30. He's got some open field as he cuts back inside 45 and brought down at the South River 46. Nice move shown there by Anthony Edwards.
Joe, and again, the thing that you watch there is he sets up his blocks perfectly. He got an outstanding block from Stuart Johnson. Way back at the point of the attack, though, he had a guy that was getting ready to put a hat on a South River guy. That guy turned his back, and the Old Mill player was smart enough to stay away from it.
Edwards, credit
right
him.
Right there, watch 70. He says, whoops, the guy's turned on me. I'm not going to hit him. He goes behind him.
49 yards later, it's 1st and 10 for the Old Mill Patriots at the South River 46. And a big play there by Edwards right after you give up a touchdown to come right back.
Mark Lagana, 44, also with an outstanding block for the Patriots, getting up the field to help their man into South River territory.
It's Jenkins in the backfield. Off the right side for 3 yards.
Jenkins, the ball carrier.
They go to Jenkins on this drive. We didn't see Jenkins until they got inside the 10 last time. There you see the South River coaching staff showing some technique.
Bill Clow on the last tackle for the Seahawks. 2nd down and 7.
2nd and 7.
Two to the near, two to the far. Jenkins the single setback. 1:39 to go here in the first quarter. Enders completes it to Drew Coates for a first down.
A flag, too. That's a late hit, no question about it. Jamie Coates was out of bounds, 2 yards. Jamie Wilson drilled him. Not like he bumped into him or anything. Jamie Wilson just absolutely crushed him. Coates has that available to him all night, Joe. We've seen him run that all night long. He's driven the defensive back past the stick and come back wide open. And now they're going to get an extra 15 because of the undisciplined play by Wilson.
So it would have been an 11-yard reception for a first down, but now they'll tack on the 15 extra yards, and that'll take us inside the red zone at about the 18-yard line.
And, Joe, in this upper echelon group of these county games, those are the kind of things that come back to haunt you because you can't give Old Mill 15 free yards. You can't give Broadneck or Arundel 15 free yards. These teams have the wherewithal to hurt you when you do that.
1st and 10 at the 18. It's Jenkins. A little hop, skip, and a jump there for a couple of yards. Credit Jenkins for 3 yards, 2nd and 7.
Joe, our ground level camera out of the end zone. They had a super shot right before the play. The battle of the night is Chavies at nose guard and Ethan Brown for Old Mill. These two guys, every single play, because of the nature of the nose guard center matchup, they're hitting each other on every play. And these Chavies that time did a good job to absorb the initial contact, then move down the line of scrimmage to get in on the bottom of the pile and stop Jenkins.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. 3 receivers to the far side. Enders looks towards Drew Coates as a flag falls down. Coates breaks the tackle. He's got a first down at the 6-yard line. But let's wait on the flag.
Flag is on the field.
Coates definitely seems like the possession guy tonight for the Old Mill Patriots.
Hey, Joe, he runs good routes. It's an eligible man downfield against the Patriots. Yeah, but Coach, I'm telling you, Joe, anytime he wants that pattern right now, he can get it. And obviously he's gone to Damian Ferragamo and to Grant Enders and said, look, I've got a good matchup up here. Keep tossing me the football.
Coates with 27 receptions last year, just 6 coming in this season, but was averaging 24 yards per catch. So the 5-yard penalty will back it up to around the 23-yard line.
Big homecoming crowd here in Edgewater for the Seahawks homecoming. People still making their way into the parking lot. Route 214 a buzz out here with traffic still coming into South
Amazing
River.
how this school has transformed itself from a 2A school to a 4A school. Enders moves the pocket to the near side. It's complete to Alphonse Coates.
Good job there by Enders. Not trying to get it all back on one play, just simply, hey, let's get 7 or 8 more yards here and then make 3rd down a more manageable down. You mentioned, Joe, the evolution of South River High. Obviously, most of these kids in this area all went to Southern High School up until and through 1977. They then split them up, built South River High. Immediately, they were a football power under Joe Papetti. And now, you take a look at this entire Edgewater area, it has grown up considerably.
3rd and 7, but before the play could get underway, the clock runs out for the first quarter. So at the end of 1, it's the Seahawks 7 and the Patriots 6.
October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Look for Breast Cancer Hope, Comcast's special series of on-demand programs in partnership with Lifetime and BreastCancer.org. You'll find informative and encouraging features on breast cancer topics from Lifetime,
Best thing about having cancer, it's a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Discovery Health, and the Style Network. They're all on demand from Comcast all through October. Just select Life and Home, then Breast Cancer Hope. Breast Cancer Hope, finding the strength you need.
Stay tuned for an exciting money-making opportunity from SMC. Would you like to make more money, set your own hours, and spend more time with your family? Well, now you can with SMC.
It's amazing, I mean, to go to the mailbox and you get $10,000, $50,000 checks.
I was buried in debt, and I was sitting around one day and I saw an SMC commercial. I felt confident that this would work. My best year gross, I did about $350,000. I was making more money than I ever made in my life.
SMC supports its members with a huge warehouse stocked with thousands of products that you can sell for profits of up to 300% and more. Call right now to request your free information packet. And remember to ask your operator how you can jumpstart your business with $100 worth of free SMC merchandise.
Just pick up the phone and call this toll-free number now. Remember, you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Call 800-692-8600.
And welcome back. Homecoming here at South River High School. Big crowd, as you mentioned, on hand. And, you were mentioning it, it was about 8-9 years ago that this was a 2A school and now a 4A school as they made the 4A playoffs last year for the first time. And the new facilities here are fantastic at South River High School. It's amazing, in that short amount of time, how much this school has changed.
Yeah, no question. We're in atop the Hike Bagdasian press box, and South River High Boosters Club will have their 5th annual Hike Bagdasian golf tournament coming up on October the 19th. And certainly the Boosters Club for South River has done a super job as well. And I think when you get parental involvement, there you see a great shot there of the press box. And
we're outside tonight,
getting
a nice view.
Night.
Beautiful
70 degrees. But when you get parental involvement the way they have here at South River, Joe, that makes it so much easier for the administration.
3rd down and 8. Old Mill previously 2 for 3 on 3rd downs. Ender's going to scramble inside the 5-yard line, dives forward to the 4, and a 1st down for the Patriots. 11 yards for Enders, and a 1st and goal to go for Old Mill.
Joe, super presence of mind. I thought Enders was going to get crushed by Lewandowski, who was coming from the left end. Anders able to just kind of sidestep for a couple of steps to give it one more shot with the pass, and then he tucks it in and shows some nice athleticism running across the field to pick up the 1st down.
1st and goal to go for the Patriots. They bring their fullback in. Enders now with 22 yards rushing as Jenkins tries to pop it to the outside. Keeps those legs moving, and the hands go up. Touchdown, Old Mill. Jenkins for the 2nd time tonight finds pay dirt, and the Patriots retake the lead.
Joe, you look at the size of Stephen Jenkins' legs, all those squats in the weight room during the summer, and the leg lifts and the different things in the weight room. His legs so strong. That time, he just simply had 2 South River guys on his back. They carried him into the end zone.
Shatani in for the extra point this time. Snap is low. The kick is up. And this time, the kick is true. And Old Mill grabs a 13-7 lead. And here's a replay on Stephen Jenkins' touchdown run.
Look at this, Joe. I mean, there's 2 South River guys there, and he just carries them. That's a super individual effort by Stephen Jenkins. Once his offensive line walled everybody off, Jenkins able to drive. And coaches will tell you that they expect their running backs to be able to win a good number of the one-on-one battles. And Jenkins was able to do that very impressively that time for the Patriots.
You can definitely see why they put him in red zone situations.
That's a tough guy to stop.
Him and Clements have shown the better of the combo so far tonight, but we're still very early. But a good matchup in the backfield. Clements and Jenkins versus Lee and Long.
And you can see already early, Joe, we felt that looking at the schedule tonight in the county, this was by far the best game. Down the road 6 miles, you've got Arundel and Southern. That should have been a battle of undefeateds tonight. Old Mill scoring drive, 6 plays, 50 yards, just over 3 minutes. Good scramble by Enders there after a penalty. Old Mill not hurt by the penalty in the end.
Yeah, Old Mill now 3 for 4 on 3rd down conversions, and that scramble kept the drive alive. It's Drew Lee just inside the 10-yard line, across the 20, and met there at the 25. Gets a couple extra yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the 27.
Davius Dupree, first man down for Old Mill. Drew Lee, not an easy guy to take down, Joe, in the open field. And Dupree that time with a super job to make the contact and hang on until pursuit arrived.
Lee, 5'8" junior, we mentioned earlier, transfer from DeMatha. He was an 1,000-yard running back last year for the JV squad at DeMatha, and it just was a point where he just didn't want to make the commute every day.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand. I mean, that's a huge commitment to make. to drive to Hyattsville, from the Edgewater, Davidsonville area every day.
Going with traffic.
Right, and then of course you're there all day, with practice and everything. Turns out to be a long day for you.
Long gets the handoff, and he's brought down on the backfield. A slow developing play, and a nice job there by the Patriots. In on the defensive stop, a loss of 6 yards.
Joe, Nigel Pierce ran that play down from behind. Great quickness coming down the line of scrimmage. And, that almost was the version of the stretch play from South River in the running game. And Nigel Pierce just ran it down before they could stretch it out.
So back to the 22-yard line as South River once again will spread the field. Cooper looking downfield. He's got a man. It's underthrown and intercepted as a flag comes out. The pass was picked off by number 5, Dupree, but we'll hold it here and waiting for the official call.
Kind of wondering what the penalty might be here. We'll see what Mike Malone has.
Interesting call here. Offensive pass interference. Obviously, Old Mill will decline that, and they'll take the interception. So Davius Dupree picks it off, and Old Mill once again will get fantastic field position.
Davius Dupree, the receiver that time, Joe, Ryan Thrift actually ran by Dupree. Cooper just didn't get the ball there. Dupree was like a punt returner back there, made the catch. I'm not even sure really where the contact came in because Dupree caught the ball, and then Thrift jumped on him from behind.
Third interception this season thrown by Cooper. 1st and 10 for the Patriots at the 43. 10:36 left to play here in the second quarter here in Edgewater at South River High School. They hand off to Clements. Not much room there, and brought down from behind. Number 70, Travis Williams, in on the play amongst a couple other Seahawks, and a loss once again for Clements.
The times Old Mill's tried to get outside of the running game, South River's defensive ends have done a super job of keeping containment and really not giving up anything in the back. It's been the stuff off tackle that Jenkins has had a little bit of success with. But other than that, Old Mill really hasn't run for too many yards on the ground.
Williams, 6 foot, 260-pound senior, has had quite the night on the defensive line so far for the Seahawks. 2nd down and 11. Johnson in motion. Far side complete to Saunders. And Saunders will get to the 48. Pickup of 6 yards.
Job that time by John Toll to make the stop. Saunders trying to set up a block that time, just never developed for him. Johnson couldn't quite get to Toll in time, and Toll was able to come in and make the stop.
3rd down upcoming, and you see so far the Patriots 3 for 4. And they've kept those 2 drives going with big 3rd down conversions. And they're set and saddled with a 3rd down and 4 here.
So it makes you a good football team.
Movement in front. And we have a flag. So this is going to be on the Seahawks, I would imagine, here.
Yeah, Williams definitely got in there.
So another 3rd down conversion, but this time via the penalty.
Not really sure if Travis Williams made any contact there, though, but because it was the official on the far side who threw the flag. The guy on the near side did not throw the flag against Williams in that situation. So I think that's really what the South River coaching staff is asking the line judge here on the near side about, the fact that he didn't throw the flag.
1st and 10 at the South River 47. Enders, plenty of time to throw. Has Drew Coates, and Coates makes the catch. At the 19-yard line, Drew Coates going up and making the nice grab.
I love that guy. Coates just goes and catches the ball, Joe. He doesn't drop it. Yeah, he kind of reminds you of Joe Juravicious out there, the NFL receiver for the Cleveland Browns right now. Big, tall guy. And a great concentration. 2 South River guys get ready to blow him up, and he still makes the catch.
28-yard completion. They go back to Stephen Jenkins, and he picks up 3 yards down to the 10-yard line.
Mr. Coach keeps this up. I'll have to continue to politic my boys Bill Wagner and Aaron Gray with the capital to put that guy at first team All-County. That young man You throw it near him, Joe, he does not drop the football. He has got great hands.
2nd down and 7 at the ball, marked just outside the 10-yard line. 8:08 to go here in the first half. The Patriots lead by 6. Johnson is the motion man. It's Clements. Jason Clements brought down at around the 6-yard line. He's going to be a couple yards short of a first down, but another 3rd down upcoming for the Patriots.
That's a good play by Travis Williams. Clements had the good vision there, saw everything walled off, tried to cut it backside that time. Williams staying home at that defensive end spot, working down the line of scrimmage, able to run himself right into the cutback by Clements to keep Clements from turning that into an even bigger gainer.
Seahawks need a stop here. 3rd down and a long 2 yards to go. Enders signaling out towards Drew Coates. Patriots 4 for 5 so far on 3rd downs. Johnson's the man in motion, sets in the slot to Enders left. They hand it off to Clements, and he's in for the end zone for the first time this season. Jason Clements finds 6, and it's now the Patriots 19, South River 7.
Guys up front for the Patriots that time, Joe. They did a super job clearing the way that time. And we talked about Ethan Brown earlier, the great matchup he has all night long with Mr. Chavies on the nose. But you know, give Ray Hamilton, Sean Zimmerman, John McKernan, and T.J. Bishop credit. That entire drive there, they did some nice things to keep the Old Mill Patriots drive going.
Revi Shantani in for the extra point. He's now 2 for 2. And Old Mill leads it 20-7.
I mean, watch the play, Joe. I mean, look where, you know, you've got either South River guys going backwards or on the ground. And with guys like Jenkins and Clements, they don't need much room, Joe. And if you give them a little bit of a hole, both of those guys talented enough to get it into the end zone.
Give some credit to the Old Mill coaching staff. We've seen Jenkins inside the 20. Clements is their leading rusher coming in, but he hadn't scored a touchdown. They've been taking him out in those red zone situations. They put him in. He gets the ball, and he gets 6.
No question. And it makes such a big difference when you've got the ability to have 2 different guys. It keeps you fresh for an entire ball game. And, you know, that's the one thing you can see. You can see Clements. You look at him physically. He's only sophomore, Joe. That guy's, by the time he's a senior, man, he is going to be a beast of a running back. Staying in the weight room, doing all the right things, keeping the grades up, make sure you stay eligible. You know, if Jason Clements does that, he has got the chance to be a really, really big-time player here for Old Mill, just a sophomore.
Pickney will tee it up.
And the good thing about the touchdown man, Mr. Jenkins, he goes to run down now on special teams.
The life of high school football as Drew Lee pulls it in at the 13-yard line. At the 23, spins around and is brought down there. 10-yard return by Drew Lee. But special teams on the spot for the Patriots once again.
Second time tonight we've seen Van Marshall, number 80, get down in on a special team stop. And, you know, again, you preach it. You know, the great George Allen, the longtime coach for the Redskins, you know, he was the first NFL coach to hire a special teams coach. It was the great Marv Levy, who was the first NFL special teams coach. And, you know, you see the Old Mill scoring drive, only 5 plays to cover the 43 yards. But the key thing, Joe, the 43 yards. They didn't have to go very far in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. At the high school level, if you have good special teams, you're going to do a lot of good things on special teams, and that helps you win as many games as you do in high school.
Of course, that drive set up by the Dupree interception. Cooper finds a man on the far sideline, complete as a flag goes down at the at the 31-yard line, number 80 with the reception, Lewandowski for South River. But let's wait on the flag. And
holding.
It's going to be holding. And that'll back up the Seahawks. So take away the play that would have netted them 9 yards and move them back 10 yards.
Joe, it's an interesting defensive concept with Old Mill. They run the 3-5. And it gives you so much flexibility as to how you can send your linebackers, send them outside, send them inside. They put a lot of pressure on the opposing team's offensive line right at the point of attack. They make you have to account for a lot of different people, and if you're not ready for it, if you're not prepared for it, this is a tough group to work against because you've got good athletic people at that second level, the linebackers, and even their defensive linemen, Joe, right now getting solid penetration.
So 1st and 20 as South River has been saddled with 35 penalty yards so far on the evening. Old Mill with just 5. Cooper in the shotgun, pressure in the backfield, being chased down, fires it down the field, looking for Lewandowski, and it's just short of him at the 40-yard line. Nice job on the pressure there by the Patriots. Anthony Edwards in the backfield.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. You know, they bring these people off of the edge, and when you get the quarterback out of his rhythm, if he doesn't step back and then, you know, get that ball out of there, it's so much more different. Cooper threw that ball on the run, and he threw it, 45 yards in the air on the run. But the problem is he's on the run, so the ball obviously going to carry toward the sideline like it did on him right there.
Second down and 20. Play action. Cooper in his own end zone, feeling the heat once again, and it is nearly intercepted. In on the play for the Patriots, Marvin Pinckney, who's also not their leading tackler, but also their leading interceptor.
And Joe, that shows you the versatility of Marvin Pinckney. Marvin Pinckney started that play 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. But watch what Old Mill does when they come up to the line of scrimmage, Joe. They've got guys jockeying around. The last play, the pressure came from the right side. That time, the pressure came from Nigel Pierce and those guys coming from the left side. So they mix it up. They do a good job with the stunts here. It just makes the other team account for so much. And there you see the total yards so far in the football game.
Cooper 3 for 6 for 24 yards with that touchdown and interception. And now facing a 3rd down and 20 yards to go. Pressure once again. Stepping up, Cooper has to flip it up in the air, and it's going to be intercepted. Ball picked off by the Patriots. Number 30, John Watts, making the play. An ill-advised pass by Cooper, and Old Mill will start 1st and goal at the South River 8.
Bobby Cooper that time, Joe, he's been under so much duress, and that right there clearly, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this is a bad decision. The kid's trying to make something happen as he tries to flick the ball out, and he was trying to throw that ball about 20 yards downfield on the flick to Elliott Long, but it just didn't happen. It was an easy intercept for the Patriots.
The initial pressure from Nigel Pierce, and then it was John Quinn getting in. And now Stuart Johnson nearly slips and falls, maintains his footing inside the 5, and he'll be marked out at around the 3-yard line.
Run out of bounds by David Kniesley, but, man, the balance from Stuart Johnson looked like he was going to go down before the 5-yard line, sticks that hand down, maintains his balance, continues on and gets it down just inside the 2-yard line. Joe, so impressed with all the different things and the different people that Old Mill featuring in this game. It's not just one guy. They've got a whole host of folks on offense that they can feature here, and they've done a great job of that so far in this first half.
2nd and goal at the 2-yard line. Enders, quarterback sneak, touchdown Old Mill. Grant Enders from 2 yards out gets in for Enders. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And Old Mill leads it 26-7, pending the extra point.
Excuse me, Joe, just tucked it in right behind Ethan Brown again and plowing the way there. And Grant Enders, a big, tall guy, able to push his way into the end zone.
Ravi Shantani in for the extra point.
Not much of a run-up from Shantani either. He's pretty close. He's got about a 2-yard run. That's it.
Snap is down. The kick is up. And the kick is good. So interception by Cooper turns into a 2-yard touchdown run by Grant Enders. 6:03 to go in the first half. It's 27-7 Old Mill.
I'm Roger Teeter, and I want to tell you about something that's literally changed my life. By my early 40s, I'd wrecked my back. On worse days, I couldn't get out of bed. I tried everything to find relief. Nothing really worked. And then I found inversion. While inverted, your body weight creates traction that lengthens the spine, decompresses the discs, and provides natural realignment.
Call now to take advantage of our 30-day risk-free trial for just $14.95.
Through a regular program of inversion, I've found relief for my back pain. I've been able to maintain youthful flexibility in my joints, and I've experienced additional benefits. Relief of stress, better circulation, and improved posture.
No lower backache, no pain. For 5 minutes, you feel great.
For a limited time, try Teeter Hang-Ups risk-free 30 days for just $14.95. Call now to order and you'll receive a free gift that's yours to keep.
Discover why over 1 million people worldwide have put their trust in Teeter Hang-Ups.
6:03 to go here in the second quarter. 27 unanswered by the Patriots, and gut check time here for the South River Seahawks.
Yeah, no question, Joe. I mean, again, real simple play. Enders plows the road. Behind Ethan Brown. Perhaps Joe Gibbs should learn from the Old Mill playbook. Perhaps if Joe Gibbs had done that last week for the Redskins on first down, instead of spiking the football, they might have gotten into overtime.
Big 6:03, though, to go here in the second quarter for South River. They need to get something going here offensively.
Can't fall further behind. Got to try and establish a drive. And, Joe, the one thing, I think South River has stepped outside of their personality here, too. I mean, they're trying to pass the ball so much. I mean, this is a team that's supposed to be able to run the ball effectively, and they've not given themselves the chance to run it effectively so far in this game.
Long straight ahead with the return. Once again, good coverage. A return of 17 yards. 1st and 10 for the Seahawks, and we were told coming in, smash mouth football, they like to run the football. You look at their numbers, they had almost 600 yards more rushing than their opponents so far this season, and we just haven't seen that right now so far in the first half.
No, and you've got to credit the Old Mill defense with part of that, but maybe South River has tried to do too many things outside of their personality offensively, and it obviously resulted in Cooper under duress trying to make a play last time that turned into disaster as Old Mill quickly turned it into another touchdown.
Coming into this game, Lee and Long combined had 95 carries, and Cooper only had 23 pass attempts. He keeps it on the option. He's got a first down. Cooper across the 40 to the 42. A nice pickup there by Cooper. 14 yards and a South River first down.
Love the play call because what it does, Joe, it brings Cooper back into the football game. He had to be feeling down after making the last play, but it's a great call here by the South River staff because now it gets your quarterback something positive, and it gets him now back focused into the football game here with a nice gainer on first down.
Nice vision, though, also by the senior. First and 10 at the South River 42. High snap. Cooper keeps it and picks up a couple to the 44.
Kind of reading what's going on there. Good ball fake that time, but you can't hang back there too long. This Old Mill defense is quick, Joe. I mean, they get to the football quickly. So whatever you do, it's got to be bang, bang, or these Old Mill guys are going to be on you.
Ben Thompson, the defensive coordinator for Old Mill. Not a huge defensive team, but like you said, they've been quick, and they've been on the ball all night long.
And credit them, though, Joe. That 3-5 scheme really enables you to get your linebackers up closer to the line of scrimmage and take advantage of that speed and be effective.
2nd down and 8. Cooper with pressure again. Down the seam. Lewandowski with the catch inside the 30, marked down at the 28.
Again, Joe, when you can run the football, you now keep those linebackers closer to the line of scrimmage. Gives Lewandowski, who's shown us the great ability all night to get open, and Cooper with an alley to throw the football that time. So when you can run, it then sets up your ability to pass the football.
28 yards on the completion as Lewandowski beats the double team and pulls it in. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the 29 of Old Mill.
Great concentration by Lewandowski that time in traffic.
Cooper, pressure again in his face, fires it complete once again to Lewandowski right around the 20-yard line.
That's a tough catch that time by Lewandowski, and they rolled up on the back of his leg. He might have a sore ankle or calf here as he comes up limping, and he's going to go down.
9-yard completion to Lewandowski, and he'll, as you said, have a seat here. Training staff will definitely take a look at him.
Lewandowski's had a nice ball game here, Joe, and, credit Cooper here. I mean, it would have been easy for Cooper to go flat after that last play that resulted in the subsequent touchdown by Old Mill. But Cooper comes right back here. And, again, I credit the South River staff because on first down, they call a play designed to get him to do something here, and that's the key thing. Cooper able to do something positive, and because of that, he's now focused and ready to play football again and do some good things. And so far now, South River in business as they're at the 20-yard line.
Mike Weller, the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. Lewandowski, 4 catches for 63 yards and 1 touchdown as he makes his way off the field.
Under his own power, which is the good part. I would imagine we'll see him again.
The quarterbacks, Enders with 85 yards passing, Cooper with 63.
Well, these are 2 of the best coming into the season, so not surprised that you're seeing some success throwing the football.
It's really amazing how many starters came back this year in Anne Arundel County. How many teams are working with veteran quarterbacks, and Cooper and Enders are 2 of the best. 2nd and 1, it's the first man, Drew Lee, getting the handoff, and not much there. He did not get the first down where it's going to be marked at. No gain for Drew Lee.
Alphonse Coates with a terrific, check it, Anthony Edwards at the point of the attack, Joe, able to tackle Drew Lee, bring him down immediately.
Left the seating there at the far end of the field.
3rd down and 1 yard to go. Big 3rd down conversion upcoming. It's Cooper on the quarterback sneak. We had a whistle, though, before the play got underway, and South River is going to call a timeout. It looked like Cooper got enough for the first down, but the timeout was granted to the South River sideline, so it'll still be 3rd down and 1 after the South River timeout.
Zach Tucker, one of the offensive linemen for the Seahawks, comes up limping here now. We'll see what happens with him as he comes off the field.
Here's a look at the Baltimore Sun top 15. Loyola at the top, a couple MIAA schools at the top, Loyola and McDonough. River Hill, number 3, Dunbar 4. Anne Arundel County represented at number 5, Arundel High School, Edmondson, Broadneck, this Patriots team at 8. Really not a huge amount of surprises there. I think Loyola was split the MIAA championship last year. Everybody considered them one of the top teams, especially under Derek Kennard, their top returning quarterback. But Old Mill right in the mix, along with Arundel in the 4A East.
Yeah, and it's going to come right down, as it always does with these teams, as it did last year, to the end of the season. Yeah, that Broadneck-Severna Park game at the end of the year could have an awful lot to say. And now here's a flag, and this is going to go against South River.
They had a late substitution. It might have been an illegal substitution.
Yeah, because if you have, because you have 12 in the huddle. So you can't have 12 guys in the huddle. There you see Mike Malone getting ready to make the call. Yep, illegal participation against the offense.
That's tough to do when you have a timeout. That stuff can't happen.
No, absolutely. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable after a timeout to have that. When you're shuttling players in and out, it's possible that can happen. But when you come out of a timeout, there's just no excuse for that to happen.
Cooper on the drive, 2 for 2 for 39 yards, both for Lewandowski. 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Shotgun, low snap, Cooper fires on the fade route, and it is picked off by the Patriots. Number 8, Dwayne Goddard with the pick for the Patriots, and a big defensive stop for Old Mill.
Joe, when Bobby Cooper sees the film, he will look back at this play. Lewandowski's running down the seam wide open at the top of the screen. Goes right down the hash mark, runs right by his guy. And as a result of him throwing it somewhere else, Old Mill again with a turnover. And they take over deep in their own territory to thwart the Seahawks' best drive of the game.
Pass was intended for Alderman and picked off by Dwayne Goddard. So the Patriots deep in their own in at the 8-yard line, 1st and 10, but they've got time, 3:25 left to go in the first half, and Old Mill decides to take a timeout. So timeout taken by the Patriots.
Joe, we talked about it before that drive began. As you can see, the turnovers killing South River here. We talked about that drive being so critical for South River to get something out of it. They were in position to at least get a field goal out of that drive at worst. And if they get points on the board, if you get a touchdown there, you're still in a manageable situation. The key for South River's defense is now they must step up here. They cannot allow Old Mill to get that much further away from. Another touchdown here by Old Mill, and that's going to be very, very difficult for South River to come back from.
So far tonight, Old Mill with 13 points off the turnovers by the Seahawks, and That's how South River cashed in on their only scoring drive, was off an Old Mill turnover. So after the timeout, a chance for Damian Ferragamo to talk to his offensive team. They'll start in the I formation, 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line. 2 receivers out in the formation. And movement up front.
Yet another penalty on South River. I mean, they just keep racking up the penalty yardage. That's at least 45 yards in penalties now for the Seahawks. As Chavies jumps there.
See if Coach Ferragamo changes his ideas. Looked like he was going to try to run the football out of his own end. Now he gets a little more breathing room out to the 13-yard line. 1st and 5 upcoming for Old Mill.
Can come back out in the I. Yonker in front of Clements.
5 penalties for 45 yards for the Seahawks. It's Clements across the 15 to the 16-yard line as the clock runs down to 3:15 to go.
Joe, what we're seeing now, though, if you watch where South River's defensive line was doing a really solid job in the first quarter at the point of attack, we're now watching the Old Mill offensive line take control of this football game. South River guys aren't making contact until you get a little bit further down the field now. You're not seeing them make the first hit until they get 3 or 4 yards downfield. And these are the types of plays where once Clements or Jenkins gets that 3-4 yards running up the field, those are the kind of running plays that turn into bigger plays at some point here.
2nd and short, they go back to the spread package. Johnson in motion. They hand it off to him. Johnson works his way for a first down up across the 20-yard line. Nice carry by Johnson.
Philip Blau had a chance to get him in the backfield for South River. Unable to make the stop. Johnson, and instead of trying to string it out too far, hey, he runs north and south. He starts to turn that thing up and run north and south, and able to move it forward, get the first down. New set of chains here, and still decent amount of time left at 2:28.
It's amazing we've seen the proliferation of this spread offense that is now trickled down to the high school end, and I would say almost 70% of teams are running it right now.
Well, Chucky Markowitz, when he was at North County, now the head coach at Arundel, he used it at North County to get him a state championship.
Coates might throw it here, and he will. He's got Drew Coates, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the Seahawks. Number 6, Troy Barney with the interception for South River. And with the clock striking 1:59 left to play here in the second quarter, a big break for the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's a tough play in that field position, Joe, because the throw was badly underthrown there, and Coates was open. I mean, he had gone by the secondary, but the ball was underthrown by 5-6 yards, and an easy interception. And now a chance for South River, decent kicker here, to get 1 first down and at least have a shot at getting a field goal, if not getting a big play and a touchdown to stay alive in this football game.
The fake handoff to Lee. Cooper in some trouble, trying to get free, breaks another tackle. Not much there. Cuts inside. Edwards had a hand on him, and he'll stumble down. After all that, he picks up a couple yards to the 25-yard line.
That's a heck of a play by Cooper, because he was in trouble, Joe, from the get-go. And I believe he ran into his own man, bumped off a Lewandowski, and that kind of knocked him off his line a little bit. Then he stumbled down with a gain of just over 1.
2nd down, 9 yards to go. Shotgun for Cooper. Has plenty of time. Nearly intercepted on the coverage. Once again, it's Anthony Edwards.
Try to sneak it in there to Ryan Thrift. A nice job by Old Mill. They had the bracket coverage, had the guy in front, had the guy in back that time, and Cooper had to be perfect on that throw to get a completion in that situation. That time he threw it a little bit too far outside where Thrift couldn't get it.
3rd down, 9 yards to go. 1 minute, 20 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Big play here for the Seahawks. They've got plenty of time with the ball marked right at the 25-yard line.
Well, let's see if Old Mill covers Lewandowski. They have not been able to cover him. He lines up as a tight end on the left side this time. Let's see if he's able to get open again.
Cooper throws it out, incomplete, intended for Long. Check that, Drew Lee, the intended recipient of that pass. And 4th down and 9 coming up. Even with the connection there, Old Mill smelled that play out.
Yeah, I mean, if at the point of attack, each guy on that defense, somebody's responsible for the running back in that situation. And, you know, the Old Mill guys obviously stayed their keys that time because Lee had two guys waiting on him had he caught the football anyway.
They're keying big time on both Lee and Long in the backfield. We'll see if second half adjustments are made by the South River coaching staff.
Yeah, South River calls a timeout here with 1:14 to go. You don't want to waste this field position that the turnover got them here. But the thing to me, Joe, is the fact that South River is throwing so much. I don't think we would have figured this, you know, coming into the ballgame. They would try to throw this many times here.
Coming up at the half, we'll look at the conference standings in Anne Arundel County. We'll look at the Maryland AP poll, and we'll have some halftime highlights from this 27-7 score here. And Anne Arundel County standings with this game, and we'll take a look later on. We'll have we'll look ahead for both these teams. But for South River, this is the stretch of a difficult road for them. So a big play upcoming here, 4th down and 9 yards to go with 1:14 to go.
Yeah, and the loser of this game in terms of the county standings is in a little bit of trouble. I mean, you're having to play catch-up. I mean, if Arundel's able to beat Southern tonight, that puts them up on the loser of this game by 2 games.
4th down, 9 yards to go. Cooper steps up, fires down the field. He's got a man open, and it's intercepted. Fantastic play, leaping up to make the interception. Stephen Jenkins, who has a touchdown run, picks off the pass right at the goal line.
If the ball was thrown earlier, Joe, you're absolutely right. Alderman was open. But because the ball was delivered a little bit late, Jenkins had plenty of time to come over and make the adjustment on the football. From up above where we're seeing it, it's a great shot. You watch, Alderman, right there, he looks like he's open. If the ball's thrown earlier, he gets it. But see, because it's delivered late, Jenkins able to come from out of the screen there and makes a really nice interception there to thwart the South River drive. Now the ball's at the 1 yard line here. Let's see what Old Mill does here in terms of handling the ball. Still 1:06 to go.
Clements in the backfield directly behind Enders. I would imagine maybe a quarterback sneak here. And Old Mill with the ball right on the goal line will take a timeout.
Yeah, Damian Ferragamo and company going to really make sure everybody's set and focused here because you don't want to give up a safety in this situation. South River only has 1 timeout. So if you can at least get off the goal line, you can basically almost take a knee or just continue to run a quarterback sneak forward. As you see the Patriots opening up at Severna Park. And
really, if you talk to anybody, they should be 3-0 right now.
Yeah.
It was the high school version of the immaculate reception.
Right.
J.J. Hicks went 81 yards with 20 seconds left to go after a deflection to get that loss against Broadneck 31-28.
Yeah, I mean, and then you see, obviously, they handled Severna Park and Meade without much fanfare. And, you know, the ironic thing about Severna Park, Severna Park scored only 8 points in the first 2 games of the season. They only scored 8 against Old Mill. They were shut out the next week by Southern. And then last week they lit up Annapolis for 42 points, scoring any way imaginable.
About 3 weeks from now, we'll be back at Arundel High School, Severna Park in Arundel. That game will also have huge implications as far as the playoff standings in Anne Arundel County goes. 1st and 10 at the 1 yard line. Enders with the quarterback sneak, and he pushes his way up to the 5 yard line. A nice play there by Enders, picks up 4 yards.
And see, now if you're Old Mill, you're in business. You don't really have to do anything. South River doesn't look like they're in any hurry to stop the clock. So if you're Enders, you just kind of cover up the football. You move forward again. You don't even risk handling the ball in this situation. So impressed by this first half from Damian Ferragamo's team here as they give Enders a play as he comes over to the sideline to get it. But I'm just really impressed with the balance they've showed us on offense. The play calling has been terrific. The mix of the play calling has been excellent. And their offensive line has just done a heck of a job up front, too. I mean, Enders hasn't really been harassed all that much in this game.
And this is going to be delay of game on the Patriots, I believe.
Yes. And this is the one thing that drives me crazy about high school football. We've seen this now from a couple of teams, Joe. They bring the quarterback over to the sideline to get the play. Then he tries to run back to the huddle, tell everybody what the play is, you know, and it ends up resulting in a delay of game penalty.
So half the distance back around the 1.5, 2 yard line. Enders, quarterback sneak once again. He'll push his way out to the 4. So a couple more yards for Grant Enders.
That'd probably be the last play of this first half.
They set the ball right around the 4 yard line. And the final seconds come off the clock here at halftime. It's been Old Mill with the big lead so far headed into halftime. It's the Patriots 27 and South River 7.
It's back, better than ever. And now you can get the original Sonic Clean Between machine absolutely free as part of our $1 million giveaway. So listen closely.
You need to floss more. You're not flossing enough. I'd really like to see more flossing.
Your dentist was right, you know, because flossing was the best way to prevent tooth decay, gum disease, and bad breath. Until now. Hi, I'm Steve Kettle, and this is Dr. Milner's Sonic Clean Between machine. It's a sonic-powered flossing system that's so unique, it's been awarded 5 U.S. patents. It's easier, faster, and better than old-fashioned flossing, and even cleans where floss can't reach. The Clean Between machine gets deep between your teeth to remove pockets of hidden plaque, rotting food particles, and stagnant odors. No more awkward, flimsy floss to get stuck in your teeth and cut your gums. The Clean Between machine glides gently between your teeth. It's a pleasure to use. Look, brushing can miss everything that's between the teeth, but even flossing can't get it all. Look how much is left behind. But the Sonic Clean Between machine does just what its name says. It gets between your teeth and really cleans them. And there's no better way in the world to clean around braces or get under tight fillings, crowns, and bridge work. The Sonic Clean Between machine is compact and cordless, so you can take it anywhere.
The Sonic Clean Between machine comes complete with 8 interdental brush tips for only $19.95. But order today and we'll include the gum stimulator, tongue cleaner, and convenient organizer, plus the toothbrush attachment, making your Clean Between machine a Sonic toothbrush. Sonic toothbrushes alone sell for as much as $140. But wait, there's even more. Call now and get a second Sonic Clean Between machine absolutely free. That's right, 2 Clean Between machines with everything, including the toothbrush attachment for just $19.95. It's the perfect gift. Not available in stores. Operators are standing by, so call now for this limited time offer.
Mark your calendars for the 12th Annual Baltimore Book Festival, the Mid-Atlantic's premier celebration of the literary arts. Located at historic Mount Vernon Place, meet your favorite national and local celebrity authors. Enjoy poetry readings, children's activities, cookbook demonstrations, and live music. Fun for the whole family from Friday, September 28th through Sunday, September 30th at the Baltimore Book Festival. For more information, check us on the web or call 1-877-BALTIMORE.
Halftime here at South River High School. Homecoming festivities underway. They've already crowned their kings and queens for 2007. Old Mill with a 27-7 lead. So far it's been all Patriots so far this evening as they look to improve their record. Both teams coming in 2-1. And so far, so good for the Patriots as they came in against South River, just outside of that top 20. But here's a look at the top 20 teams in the state of Maryland. Pete, no surprise that those first 2 teams up there, Friendly and DeMatha, 2 of the best.
I would flip-flop the top 2 because there's no question in my mind DeMatha is the top program in the area. Their only loss is to a great team out in Ohio, but Friendly, who dismantled Edmondson early in the season, again on track toward a potential state championship squad. Quince Orchard out of Montgomery County. There you see Loyola, who was number 1. We showed you that earlier in the Baltimore Sun. Eleanor Roosevelt persevering despite the suspension of Coach Rick Houchins for the season. And the one thing you start to see there, you see the influence of the Prince George's County teams, Joe. You've got Friendly. You've got Eleanor Roosevelt, Suitland, the defending champion, Flowers, who's always got an awesome contingent. And then you see also Gwynn Park in there as well. Last week, Hereford, the number 19 team in the poll, put up 64 points against Towson. And you see several teams on the schedule there, Joe, that are going to be in upcoming games for us here on CN8 with Westlake, also Patuxent, and, of course, Arundel again in a couple of weeks with Severna Park. So some good teams to look forward to here right here on CN8.
We're at halftime here at Papetti Field. The Seahawks trail the Patriots 27-7.
Where in the world are all these playful puppies going? To a puppy party, and you're invited to join the fun.
This little guy can't get enough of Puppy Party.
Puppy Party is the most puppy-packed DVD you'll ever own. It's a full hour of nonstop puppy fun.
We love watching Puppy Party together.
I'm so glad I bought Puppy Party. It's just the cutest thing.
I actually liked it as a mom.
Puppy Party is shot exclusively in high definition and loaded with exciting facts about more than 25 breeds, from Chihuahuas to St. Bernards.
My kids can't get enough of Puppy Party.
The dogs are so cute.
We like to watch it together. Puppy Party is definitely for everybody.
Call 1-800-709-3781 right now to order and join your favorite puppies on their greatest play date ever.
It's great to see him so entertained while he's learning something.
One more time. My grandkids watch it over and over again.
I think they're cute and cuddly and just want to pick them up.
We love Puppy Party.
Puppy Party is just the first adventure in Animal Empire's incredible DVD series that includes Horseplay, Monkey Around, Kitten Caboodle, and dozens more. Puppy Party is only available through this special TV offer.
My mom really likes it too.
I can't believe how much we like watching it together.
We love Puppy Party.
As a parent, I feel so good when my kids are watching Puppy Party.
I really enjoyed it.
The entire family is sure to love Puppy Party.
Anytime you see a puppy, how could you not love it?
Puppy Party is ordinarily $14.95, but if you call right now, you can ask your operator how you can order Puppy Party for only $9.95 while supplies last, or go to www.animalempire.com to order.
I loved it.
Don't miss your chance to bring Puppy Party to your house. Every DVD comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so don't wait. Call now.
Comcast has the triple play with digital cable, high-speed internet, and digital voice. With digital cable, I get it all. I'm in control with On Demand. It's a library of movies, shows, sports I can start whenever, and most of them are totally free. They even have HD On Demand. For me, it's Comcast Digital Cable.
The Comcast Triple Play. Internet, phone, and cable. Together on one bill from one company. Call today.
Welcome back. 20-point lead for the Patriots, as we talked about earlier. A crucial game as far as Anne Arundel County is concerned in the standings coming into this contest. Both these teams looking to make their moves. One undefeated team left in Anne Arundel County. That's Arundel High School as they took on the Southern Bulldogs tonight, who are 2-1.
And ironically, South River and Southern both kicking themselves. They should have been undefeated coming into this week's football games. Chesapeake beat South River last week on late field goal 12-11. And Northeast, Michael Tibbs, the quarterback for Northeast. He's not quite a one-man gang, but, man, he is impressive. He's a good runner, a good thrower, threw for 150, ran for 150 last week, and then passed for over 100 as well for Northeast. I think Northeast, as the season goes along, is going to be a team to watch. They're not going to win the county, but they may keep some other teams from winning the county, and that, I think, is the critical thing as you move on later in the season.
Credit to North County. They were 0-10 last year. They're 2-1 this season, and they also played Broadneck really tough last week.
Yeah, Gary Liddick's done a nice job with North County getting those fortunes turned around for the Knights. And again, that's another team that is used to winning. When Chuck Markowitz was there, they set a standard of winning at North County. You know that there are athletes in the area. There's athletes in the building, and obviously some more of those athletes are doing the things necessary to put themselves on the field, because Gary Liddick and his staff are doing a nice job, as evidenced by their start here.
And what's interesting about the county standings is almost duplicate of the 4A East Region standings, because the top four out of the county will also be the top four going to the playoffs.
Right, because the region is dominated by Anne Arundel County teams, and that's why not only is it big for the county, but it's big for the playoffs, and that's why we continue to stress the game that South River lost to Chesapeake. It is 8 huge 4A points that sit out there. And when you sit down and you see how the playoffs are determined, you get points through the course of the year. It's divided by the number of games that you play, and whatever your average comes out to be. Those 8 points could turn out to be huge, because if, say, an Arundel and Old Mill, you look at the way the standings could go in that bracket, with the North County moving up, maybe a Meade before the season is over with. You know, if they don't get those 8 points, you know, South River could be in a little bit of trouble, though. As long as they take care of their business against those teams, they're still going to be in business for the most part, I think, trying to get that 4 seed.
And one of these teams looking to improve to 3-1. Halftime here at South River. It's 27-7, Old Mill.
Mark your calendars for the 12th Annual Baltimore Book Festival, the Mid-Atlantic's premier celebration of the literary arts. Located at historic Mount Vernon Place, meet your favorite national and local celebrity authors. Enjoy poetry readings, children's activities, cookbook demonstrations, and live music. Fun for the whole family from Friday, September 28th through Sunday, September 30th at the Baltimore Book Festival. For more information, check us on the web or call 1-877-BALTIMORE.
Parking your car in the garage can be a real problem. Pull in too far and you could end up causing a lot of damage. Don't pull in far enough and you could have a real problem in the rear end. But now there's an easy way to park your car in the right spot every day. Introducing parking balls. With parking balls, you just stop when the ball touches your windshield and your car is perfectly parked every time. No more being too close to the door or sticking out too far. Parking balls installs easily without tools or a ladder. Just park your car in the perfect spot. Screw the adapter on to any broom or mop handle, insert the self-stick fastener, and press against the ceiling. Attach the parking ball and simply slide down to your car's windshield, and you're done. It's that easy.
With parking balls, I pull in and I know my car is in exactly the right spot. It's just made life easier for all of us.
I come in, the ball touches the windshield, and I know I'm parked exactly in the right spot.
And installing parking balls couldn't be easier. Just press, attach, and slide down to the windshield, and you're done and ready to park perfectly every time. So stop inching your way into the garage and stop smashing into things. Call now and we'll double the value. You'll get a set of 2 parking balls for only $14.99, so you can park 2 cars perfectly every time. As a special bonus, you'll also receive our ingenious cup holder caddy, a $15 value, yours free. Just pay additional shipping and handling. It instantly transforms the extra cup holder in your car into an easy-to-reach organizer, keeping your cell phone, notepads, pens, and coins all within easy reach. Yes, you get 2 sets of parking balls and the cup holder caddy, all for only $14.99. This offer is not available in stores, so call now.
Call now to order parking balls for the amazing price of only $14.99. Stop inching your way into the garage to find the right spot. With parking balls, you'll be perfectly parked every time. Call 1-800-822-5400. That's 1-800-822-5400. Call now.
Halftime here, Old Mill with a 27-7 lead. Pete, let's take a look at the first half highlights. Starting it off, Jason Clements with his first touchdown this season for the Old Mill Patriots.
The outstanding sophomore who splits the carries with Stephen Jenkins. Look at the big fella rumble there. Nice cutback against the grain. Finds the alleyway and gets into the end zone.
That made it 20-7. After a Old Mill turnover, South River got the ball back late in the first half. Bobby Cooper on a 4th and 9 going deep, trying to hit a receiver in the end zone.
And had this ball been delivered earlier, you see Alderman's got some space, but the ball coming a little bit out of there too late, and as a result, Stephen Jenkins with time to come on over and makes a nice break on the ball, the athletic interception to thwart a South River opportunity. Seahawks twice late in the half with opportunities to get down there and do some things. They got no points out of it, and really that could be the thing that comes back to hurt them toward the end of this game if they're not able to come back.
Jenkins with an interception and with a touchdown. Halftime stats, Old Mill 163 total yards, South River just 21 rushing yards, 84 total yards, and nice balance there by the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, any coach would take that. Damian Ferragamo's got to be happy. 78 and 85. Every coach at any level of football will take it. 2 things that stand out here, though. Obviously, penalty numbers and the turnovers. Look at the time of possession for South River. I mean, it's doubled up almost by Old Mill here. 45 yards in penalties, the 4 turnovers, Joe. It's a recipe for disaster for South River in this first half.
Cooper with 4 first-half interceptions. Halftime score, Old Mill 27 and South River 7. Second-half kickoff coming your way next.
If you have back pain, arthritis, fibromyalgia, tendinitis, any kind of joint and muscle pain or stiffness at all, you finally have a safe, effective relief. Dr. Frank's Homeopathic Joint and Muscle Pain Relief.
I had a lot of fear that I would be crippled at a very young age. It was a miracle that I found something safe and that had such dramatic pain relief.
Dr. Frank's is all natural. Just spray here and stop all your pain everywhere. For the first time ever, these 10 homeopathic ingredients have been combined in a revolutionary oral spray that stops inflammation, pain, and stiffness.
I
pretty much quit tennis just because of the pounding. Since using this spray, my pain and tenderness and swelling and soreness and stiffness has gone.
If you have any kind of joint and muscle pain or stiffness, Dr. Frank's Joint and Muscle Pain Relief is the safe, all-natural relief you've been searching for.
I have no pain in my knees, no sciatica, and I'm pain-free.
I'm Dr. Ken Frank. I'm a medical doctor. There is a safe way to stop your pain, and I guarantee that your daily aches and pains, whether mild or severe, will stop or significantly decrease with this formula.
Start living your life pain-free. Try safe, effective Dr. Frank's risk-free. Call now and get a 200-spray trial bottle for only $19.95.
It was as though someone has given me an electric shock that went up the arm, and I could not do that. Now, I can't get that pain no matter how far I turn my arm. And now I'm playing tennis again.
Call now and spray away your pain in days. Call now for your risk-free trial bottle of Dr. Frank's Joint and Muscle Pain Relief. Ask how to double the supply for free. And also ask how to get for free Dr. Frank's 100-page book about natural and safe pain relief without drugs.
Call now, 1-800-292-0290. 1-800-292-0290. That's 1-800-292-0290.
Dr. Frank's pain relief really works.
And welcome back as we start the third quarter of action. Plenty going on here at homecoming at South River High School. We had the dance team. We had the hip-hop coalition. Plenty to keep this big crowd entertained.
Oh, it's huge here tonight. Of course, the stand's only on one side here at South River, and they are packed here tonight. Eventually, they're going to have to put some stands somewhere else.
Pickney to get the second half underway. Drew Lee back deep for the Seahawks. That one's going to bounce at the 5 and bounce into the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the 20-yard line. Cooper in the first half, 5 for 8 for 63 yards, 1 touchdown, but those 4 first-half interceptions.
Yeah, and that's where he has to come out in this second half. South River can't get it all back on one play. I mean, if Old Mill makes a mistake and they allow a big play, they can, but certainly they've got to still let the game, take its course here. Don't try to get it all back in one play. Take what Old Mill gives you. As we've seen, Joe, the ball gets turned over. Games can change quickly. We'll see what South River can establish here on this first drive.
Senior quarterback under center, and it's Long the handoff up to the 23-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards for Long.
Ball carried by
Cooper, also the leading rusher for the Seahawks in the first half with 18 yards. Lewandowski, 4 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. Their leading receiver as Elliott Long heads off to the sideline and replaced by Drew Lee.
Good job that time by Joey Hall and Randy Spann getting in there to lay a hat on Elliott Long. And if you're South River, do what you do best. Give the ball to 2 and give the ball to 4 and see what they can get for you here.
Here's Cooper on the fake, and he's upended at the 24-yard line, a gain of a yard for Bobby Cooper.
Super play by Anthony Edwards. He sheds the block and then makes the sure-handed tackle in open space against Bobby Cooper that time. Anthony Edwards, Joe, a name that we have called an awful lot on that Old Mill defense tonight. He has had a super football game.
7 yards to go.
Third down, 7 yards to go. South River 1 for 3 on third down conversions.
Shows you they haven't had a lot of drives of any length here in this football game with the constant turnovers and the penalties.
Long in the backfield. Cooper back to pass. Fires far sideline. It's incomplete. As that one was short-hopped Ryan Thrift. And 3 and out for the Seahawks. 4th down and 7. They'll bring in the punting unit.
Joe, their inability to run, when you can't do what you do best, then you're really in trouble. And, again, it's as much the Old Mill defense doing its job and doing well as it is South River's inability to move the football here.
Cooper's the up man, so you have to watch for that. But Alderman, the deep man, will punt it away from his 11-yard line. It bounces at the 50. And Saunders got away with one there. And I would check that. That was Stuart Johnson, number 6. A punt of 33 yards. And nearly a disaster there as Jenkins covered it up. But Old Mill will take over 1st and 10 at the 44.
That's just you can't let the ball hit the ground. That was a low punt. You really can't blame him for not catching it. But at that point, if you're not going to catch it, just get the heck away from it. Yell Peter, let everybody scatter, and let South River down the ball at that point because, again, Joe, it almost turned into a disaster there for Old Mill.
Grant Enders, the junior quarterback for the Patriots, 6 for 10 in the first half, 85 yards and 1 interception. Ran for a touchdown, and it's Jenkins off to the near sideline, and he's brought down there by Barney, but Jenkins will pick up 3 yards to the 43.
That's the first mistake my man Coates made at wide receiver tonight. He didn't hold his block on Barney long enough. Barney able to work off that block and make a nice tackle in the open space out here on the right side.
Enders with 27 yards rushing and a touchdown. Jenkins with 16 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Of course, Clements also with the touchdown. Drew Coates with 4 catches for 56 yards in the first half.
Love Grant Enders, the way he manages the game for Old Mill. Just doesn't make any mistakes. You know, he takes what the defense gives him, keeps the chains moving for his team, and doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes.
They hand it off to Johnson. No room inside, tries to break it outside, but South River having none of that. Nice defensive play by John Toll. A loss of 7 yards back to the 45.
Toll, the senior, member of the homecoming court. That time with good containment, not allowing the runner to get outside of him, and he makes the stop in the backfield. And one of the few times tonight we've seen Old Mill in 3rd and long.
Old Mill 4 for 5 on 3rd down conversions, facing 3rd down and 14. They need to get to the South River 46. Trips to the near side. Johnson in motion near to far. Play action, Enders. Flushed out to the near sideline. Enders will run for it across the 45 to the 46. Knocked out of bounds there by Philip Cloak.
Head coach running down the seam. The problem was he was on the run, and, you know, I like the fact you're up 20. You know, he probably could have tried to throw that ball in there, but at this point you're up 20 points. You know, don't risk it. You know, make the solid fundamental play, kick it away, and let your defense go to work because the defense for Old Mill's been terrific.
Picks up 6 on the rush, but it's still 4th down and 8, and Enders in punt formation. Drew Lee back deep for the Seahawks.
Get the punt away.
Leo let it bounce. And it will go dead at the 11-yard line. And that's where South River will start from. 43-yard punt by the quarterback, Drew Enders.
You know, one of the reasons why a team like Old Mill so good, they've got, and you notice the high school teams that are really good, it's not a surprise. They've got great feeder systems that feed into them. Old Mill for years now with that great Millersville Wolverines program. They've actually started a program called Old Mill up there. Good friend Wiley Baker, part of that. Then, of course, you have Arundel, the top team in the county. They've got the great Cork and Crofton programs feeding in there, as well as the Crofton program feeding in with Jackie Lee's Edgewater and South River's group here for South River.
Handoff to Elliott Long. Long out to the 13-yard line. Pickup of 2 yards, 2nd down and 8.
The thing to me, Joe, tonight that's been a surprise is South River's inability to run. I mean, that's their bread and butter. And when you can't do what you do best, it really makes for a long night for you. And at no point have they had any really sustained running success in this football game.
Yeah, really, it's been tough drive going. They were able to score off the Old Mill turnover. Long with 6 carries for just 2 yards. 2nd down and 8. Cooper fires, has a man, and it's brought in at the 31-yard line. Pass complete to Josh Spadaro, and a South River 1st down.
Good play there by Cooper. Throws the ball on a line. Spadaro coming across the middle. Nice route. Not running as sometimes you see receivers run more of a arc as opposed to coming directly across the middle. Spadaro coming across the middle that time. Cooper hits him on time for the 3rd down conversion and a 1st down.
17-yard completion to Spadaro. 1st and 10 at the 31. It's Long again, and once again, it's been a same story all night long. Just nothing there. Good penetration by the Old Mill defensive line, and a loss of a yard on that play for Elliott Long.
And, you know, again, I mean, it's 5 blocking 3 up front. And now, you know, this is the one thing you don't want to see. You're starting to see a little chippiness here. And Stephen Jenkins for Old Mill. Nice job that time to kind of tap, Elliott Long on the helmet and say, don't worry about it, big fellas. It's one of those nights. And you don't want to see the game certainly turn into something of that nature.
As I mentioned, coming in the opening, they're averaging 6.5 yards per carry. Right now, they have 14 carries for 27 yards. That's less than 2 yards per carry. Second down and 11. Cooper hands it off to Drew Lee.
Wow.
And not much there once again from the backside. It was Goddard.
That's the impressive thing, Joe. You just said the word. We have seen them run down the line of scrimmage and make so many plays coming from the backside in this football game. Maybe if you're South River, you look in your playbook and see if you have a reverse. Maybe you can take advantage of if you call it over pursuit, but they are so quick to run to the football. Their pursuit to the football is outstanding.
Another third and long, 9 yards to go. They need the 42 for a first down. Shotgun formation once again. Cooper with some time, now pressured, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. And before he was brought down, he did throw it out of there, but obviously incomplete. The pressure, Kevin Hahn, number 76, in the backfield for the Patriots.
Joe, the great thing is those guys up front for Old Mill, the three guys, it's a three-down lineman situation. They have done such a good job occupying blockers and things of that nature. It allows those speedy linebackers to fill holes and run to the football. And Hahn that time getting in to make a great play.
Hahn, Hawkins, and Pierce have done their job tonight. 4th down and 9 punting situation. So South River does get a first down, but they'll have to punt it here on 4th down, and it'll be Old Mill football at the 37-yard line. 6:10 left to go. We're going to step aside. South River trailing Old Mill 27-7 on CN8.
Mark your calendars for the 12th Annual Baltimore Book Festival, the Mid-Atlantic's premier celebration of the literary arts. Located at historic Mount Vernon Place, meet your favorite national and local celebrity authors. Enjoy poetry readings, children's activities, cookbook demonstrations, and live music. Fun for the whole family from Friday, September 28th through Sunday, September 30th at the Baltimore Book Festival. For more information, check us on the web or call 1-877-BALTIMORE.
CN8's One-on-One with Steve Adubato.
This is the show you've been waiting to see.
Fascinating guests. I love her. In-depth conversations.
It's exciting.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato. Weeknights at 5:30 on CN8, the Comcast Network.
Bounds with John Carchidi.
Come, friends, come closer.
And Phil Burton.
You know what it's time for? I have no idea.
Sports with an attitude.
Stop interrupting.
Out of Bounds, weeknights at 11, only on CN8, the Comcast Network.
Welcome back. Joe Miller alongside Pete Medhurst. 6:10 to go, third quarter. Old Mill with the 27-7 lead. Enders. And he's stripped of the football. He looked like he got back on it. And Old Mill will recover it. It was Lewandowski who caused the fumble. Enders recovers. It's going to be a loss of about 5 yards on the play, but Old Mill able to sidestep potential disaster right there.
Yeah, one of the few times you see the line judge kind of getting in the way there, but Lewandowski sticking that right hand in there as Enders is trying to get free and throw the football.
Second down, 15 yards to go.
2nd and 13.
Johnson in motion. 3-step drop for Enders. Has Saunders on the far side. Shakes one guy across midfield. Well, brought down right near midfield. A pickup of 16 yards on the completion.
And when they look at the film,
Saunders.
When they look at the film, Alphonse Coates, number 1, with a big block that time to get him the extra yardage. And you see the first guy he shakes hands with when he comes back to the huddle is number 1 who got him the extra yard. Got to recognize those teammates who do the work for you and help you out.
That last pass put Enders over 100 yards. 7 for 11 for 101 yards. Once again, right around that 70 percentile for completion percentage. It's Coates, Drew that is, down to the 44-yard line. And a pickup of 6 yards.
No relation, if you're wondering. Alphonse, C-O-A-T-E-S, like my former Southern High classmate Terrence Coates. And 84 Coates is C-O-A-T-S.
Alphonse spelled like former tight end Ben Coates.
Yeah.
For the New England Patriots.
He was pretty good.
Yes, he was.
Big number 87.
3 receivers to the far side of the formation. Second down, 3 yards to go. Enders rolls to the wide side of the field. Nice throw, complete to the 30. Down inside to the 28. Coates with the reception there. Alphonse, that is. And another Old Mill first down.
It's the Coates and Coates show. Get your coats out as October is coming. Old Mill going to be throwing to Mr. Coates and Coates.
We should also give credit. Here's we take a look at the replay as Alphonse Coates with the reception. Ender showing a nice ability to throw on the run.
That's a tough throw because he's throwing back against his body as he's rolling to the left in that situation.
Handoff in the backfield. Dominique Hunter gets his first carry, number 20 for the Old Mill Patriots. I was getting ready to say we should mention that Old Mill, credit to them, they brought a big part of this crowd here tonight. The blackout, as they like to call it at Old Mill, standing room only in their section. So credit to the Patriots for bringing a nice crowd out here to South River.
Yeah, because here at South River, when you come to the stands, they have a sign. Home, you sit to the right. Visitors, you sit to the left. And the visitor side is packed.
Second down and 7. Enders rolls to the near side. Sets his feet and completes it again to Alphonse Coates at the 15. Another Old Mill first down. And Enders starting to get hot. He started 2 for 6. He's now 8 for his last 8.
Joe, the thing, too, that's impressive here, we saw it with the other Coates earlier. These Old Mill receivers, they get beyond the marker. They know where they have to go to get the first down. Then as they work their way back to the quarterback, they have the room to do that because they run the patterns properly.
Nice job there by Coates to get his feet down. Enders now with 144 yards passing. Cooper with 80 for South River. 8 straight completions for Enders as this drive continues at the 15. Nothing there, and he ducks underneath the tackle. He's got a lot of running room to the near sideline at the 10. Cuts back inside the 5. Dives for the end zone. Grant Enders. Touchdown, Old Mill.
And see, Joe, that's the thing that he can do right there when he has to. We've seen him do it twice now tonight. The athletic ability, when the play is not there, the decision-making. He said, you know what? Nothing's here. I got to tuck it down and let's do something. Grant Enders' decision-making tonight, Joe, has been as impressive as anything he has done on the field, throwing or running with the ball. And as you see right there, South River with good penetration. Enders says, we got nothing. Let me tuck it down, run into the right, ball carried in the right hand, fundamentally sound, and he powers his way into the end zone.
15-yard touchdown run by Enders. It's his second touchdown run of the game, 4th touchdown rushing of the season. The extra point was good. And now with 2:51 left to go in the third quarter, in front of a stunned South River crowd, it's Old Mill 34, South River 7.
You decide between Nick Elko and Grant Enders at the end of the season. Can you imagine what it is going to be like, you know, for Pat O'Malley and Lem Satterfield, the Baltimore Sun staff, and Bill Wagner and Aaron Gray, the guys at the Capitol, when they try to come up with these all-county teams? The coaches obviously have an all-county team. How do you choose between these guys?
7-play, 63-yard drive, just over 3 minutes as Enders takes it in from 15 yards out. But it's a great question. With all these top guys coming back, it's Elko and Enders. And the great story, and we didn't mention this earlier, but Grant Enders last year, fabulous story. He came in for an all-county quarterback, Keelan Stevens, who got injured in the 4th quarter with 4 minutes to go in Old Mill's first-round playoff game. He comes in, he's never taken a snap, and the sophomore leads them on a comeback victory with a touchdown pass to give them an 18-12 lead. And he started the next week against Broadneck. He struggled in that game, but he has really picked up where he left off last year in that Arundel game this early part of this season.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed with him, Joe. And again, you know, the one thing that coaches can teach you how to throw it. They can teach you how to, you know, run properly with the right form and things of that nature. But coaches can't do a whole lot about the decision-making process, because when you step between the lines, it is up to you, the player, to do the right things, to do what you're told. And sometimes it's tougher to do those things as a player because you want to make things happen for your team. But Grant Enders shows a lot of poise, patience, and great decision-making out there, and he just doesn't hurt his team. That's the impressive thing.
He's only making his 5th career start tonight, and it's been impressive to say the least. Cooper under pressure somehow maintains his footing and gets out of there to the 23-yard line. Nice play by Cooper.
Pressure that time from both sides by Old Mill. They squashed the pocket, and Cooper somehow scooted out of there to make a positive play. Nice job by Bobby Cooper for South River.
Enders on that last drive was 4 for 4 for 47 yards, and of course had the 15-yard touchdown run. 2nd down and 4. Completion to the sideline. Spadaro with the reception. Check that, Ryan Thrift, number 25 for South River. 1st down for the Seahawks.
You know, when they do this chapter, the Bobby Cooper movie, they're going to have to get Steven Seagal because he's been under siege all night long here from this Old Mill defense.
Take you long to think of that one?
I just had to come up with the word because, I mean, the Old Mill guys have been on the attack the whole night.
They're coming again. Pressure and a sack.
Wow.
Number 9, Joey Hall with the sack of Cooper. That'll put the ball inside the 20-yard line, back to the 15. But they came on the blitz once again, and it's Hall this time with the sack.
They've got no answers for blocking on the edge, Joe. I mean, and Cooper's got no chance. He's got no chance. I mean, Hall coming from the outside. You know, Nigel Pierce coming from the opposite end. I mean, it just doesn't matter which end Old Mill sends a guy from. They're running free in the backfield, and Cooper has no chance.
Loss of 15 on the sack. Cooper looking for some help. He's got a man wide open on the near sideline. It's caught at the 50-yard line. Alderman to the 20 and brought down at the 12-yard line. Blake Alderman wide open. And Cooper hits him in stride, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the 13-yard line. 59 yards, Cooper to Alderman.
I see what happens when they give Cooper a little bit of chance to throw the ball. Obviously a blown coverage by Old Mill. The corner playing like he's in zone coverage, expecting safety help. And Tion Jones, the safety, finally comes over and runs him down. It's good hustle by Jones because Alderman was 20 yards ahead of him when he caught the football, but obviously a mix-up in the defense there for Old Mill. Corner thought they were zoned with safety help. The safety never got there, or if the corner's supposed to be in man, he just stopped running, and Alderman wide open, and Cooper put it right on the money.
The Patriots have taken a timeout with 1:05 to play here in the 3rd quarter as they try to settle themselves defensively. But that's what everybody's been talking about with Cooper. You saw the form. He sets his feet, makes a perfect throw, and that's why he's so much talked about, and that's why Towson has offered him a scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, he's a specimen, Joe. I mean, you look at him, I mean, he fits, you know, the quarterback description, you know, 6'4", 205. I mean, you start talking 6'4", 205, and I think before it's over with, and if he maybe goes to some camps and stuff during the summer, you know, depending on whether he makes an early commitment to Taos or something like that, there's going to be some other schools that are going to be involved with Bobby Cooper, I think, before long.
Total yards pretty even, but the scoreboard is not. And a sack again as Cooper goes down. In on the play, Marvin Pinckney, number 3, with the sack for the Patriots, and a loss of 5.
Great job by Pinckney coming down the line that time from the outside. They move Pinckney around a lot, too. We've seen him line up a couple different places tonight. Here he comes again.
Cooper keeps it. And he might have picked up a yard, but not much. As on the play, A.J. Butler, check that, Anthony Edwards.
He's able to run out of one tackle in the backfield, but then Edwards, who has been something short of a cyborg here in this ball game, coming up again to get involved on the stop.
3rd down, 15 yards to go. Cooper with 9 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. Looking to the end zone, up for grabs, incomplete. Nicely defended there by the Patriots. Dupree and Goddard on the coverage for Old Mill. 4th down, 15 yards to go for South River.
It's one of the few times tonight Old Mill has covered Lewandowski, Joe. I mean, we've seen him running wide open on several occasions, but that time with the bracket coverage, Dupree able to go up and knock the ball away as it was basically a jump ball.
So 3 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter, but more importantly for South River, they face a 4th and 15 yards to go. They need to get just inside the 5 for a 1st down. 2 to the near, 2 to the far. Cooper in shotgun. Alderman in motion near to far. They bring it to the wide side of the field. Hall putting pressure. Cooper steps inside. Hall brings them down. And Old Mill will get the turnover on downs as Joey Hall, who made a sack earlier in the drive, puts an end to the drive with that stop on 4th down.
Just relentless, Joe. Old Mill, Joey Hall in that drive, just relentless with a couple of sacks.
Into the 3rd quarter, it's all Old Mill. They lead it 34-7.
Mark your calendars for the 12th Annual Baltimore Book Festival, the Mid-Atlantic's premier celebration of the literary arts. Located at historic Mount Vernon Place, meet your favorite national and local celebrity authors. Enjoy poetry readings, children's activities, cookbook demonstrations, and live music. Fun for the whole family from Friday, September 28th through Sunday, September 30th at the Baltimore Book Festival. For more information, check us on the web or call 1-877-BALTIMORE.
If you have diabetes, then you know what this is. It's your lifeline. Luckily for us, these new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Access Diabetic Supply will send you one of these new meters, no charge. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, your testing supplies may also be covered. Call Access now to see if you qualify. They bill Medicare or your insurance company directly. There are no upfront costs. And they deliver your supplies right to your door for free. Call now and find out why thousands of people choose Access.
For more information, call 800-627-2895. Operators are standing by.
Access is America's choice for diabetic supplies. Call Access today. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Old Mill leads at 34-7, Pete, and we knew coming in, Grant Enders had great numbers offensively, the spread, but I've been extremely impressed by what this team has been able to do defensively. Old Mill has been all over the place. Joey Hall, Pinckney's been in there. The secondary, they had one misstep, a mix-up in coverage, but other than that, they've been fantastic so far through 3 quarters.
Probably, based on philosophy, the 2 best running teams probably in the county overall. Likely, maybe 3, Broadneck, Southern, and South River, because they want to run the football as much as they possibly can. But what Old Mill has done to South River's running attack tonight has just been super impressive. I mean, to keep guys like Long and Lee and Cooper, who can certainly move as well at quarterback, to what they've done to them on the ground, it's one of the best performances I've seen in a while.
Enders put it on the mark, but it was dropped there by Alphonse Coates. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Enders was connecting on his last 8 passes. That should have been 9 in a row, but Coates couldn't pull it in, and 2nd down and 10.
Well, Grant Enders, every now and then he'll learn receivers will drop the football. And the ironic thing is he's only a junior, Joe. I mean, he's going to come back.
They have a lot of weapons coming back for this
terrific.
Old Mill team.
No question.
And obviously they have a lot of talent this year, and they're going to be contender throughout the season. 2nd down and 10. Once again, it's Dominique Hunter.
I mean, look at that. I mean, that's the 3rd running back that they've showed us tonight, Joe. I mean, you're already running with your 3rd running back, and he's gaining positive yardage. So it's just a plethora of weapons for Old Mill, one of the biggest schools in the county, if not the biggest, in terms of school population. So they got a lot of people running around that building, and Damian Ferragamo and company putting the ones that want to play football to good use.
Hunter picks up 6 yards. It brings up 3rd down and 4.
JV matchup today. Old Mill beats South River 13-6. DJ Smith, son of former Southern baseball star Darren Smith, classmate of mine, with an interception in that game.
5 different guys have carried the football tonight for the Patriots and all have positive yardage. 3rd down and 5. Enders looking for Coates on the near side. Will heave it down the field and out of bounds. Smart decision by Enders. Johnson was well covered. And they'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation for the Patriots.
Well, again, I mean, that's what I talk about, decision-making in that situation. Okay, nothing there. All right, let's just chuck it out of bounds. I mean, why risk, a play for, little reward? Just throw the ball away, let our defense go back to work. Tell you, Joe, if their defense plays like this the rest of the season, look out. And come playoff time, they've got the kind of quickness on defense necessary to match up with an Arundel. And how will they do with Mr. Johnson Farrell? That's the one question that they have.
Enders to punt it away. Low kick, but will take the bounce. And Lee picks it up to 46. Cuts inside, maintains his footing, and picks up 9 yards on the return to the Old Mill 45 with 10:42 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Justin Mullins down to make the stop on special teams.
35-yard punt, 9-yard return. While we have a chance, let's thank Dave Klingel, athletic director here at South River. Great job setting us up tonight. We appreciate all the help. And also for this South River team, they're trailing 34-7, but Steve Erkslaven has done a fantastic job. As we mentioned, 1991 was the last time they went to the playoffs. They made it last season. He's built this program, and this, obviously, the score is not what he wanted tonight, but it's not indicative of where this program is headed.
No, but he's at least got them back into the conversation now. I mean, there was a few years, and, after South River was built, Southern and South River obviously split up. Southern didn't beat South River until 1988. That was a year after I graduated. Southern finally was able to beat the Seahawks. So
Cooper goes down again.
Salvatore with the sack, and again, coming from the outside, running it down from behind. And with all the great success that Joe Papetti had, Dave Summey had some success here. But, there was a real big gap there, though, as you and I documented earlier, in terms of football success. They should be good here. They have the requisite tools to do it. And, they'll be heard from before the end of the year. And really right now still, as he's sacked again.
Cooper never had a chance as Marvin Pinckney shows the speed from the outside as Cooper goes down once again.
I believe that's Pinckney's 3rd sack of the night as he continues to do well. But the way you look at the standings, we showed them earlier, South River, even though they'll lose this game, they're still somewhat in the driver's seat for at least the 4 seed in that region.
Pinckney gets the 7th sack this evening for the Old Mill Patriots. We get a chance, we'll take a look at the upcoming schedules for both these teams headed into the, as we get close to the second half of the high school football season, as that ball will be down inside the 10-yard line at the 6-yard line.
Ball's down at the 6-yard line.
As you mentioned, too, South River with a heck of a stretch that they're involved in, with this ball game here. And, the one thing that by losing to Chesapeake last week, it really hurt their chances of being in the top 3 and challenging at least for a home game in the first round of the playoffs. But, by losing last week and losing tonight, you see Old Mill's schedule, Northeast and Chesapeake coming up, and then they go to North County, and then the big one on 10/26 against the Arundel Wildcats. Get your seats in advance for that one.
Exactly. They finish up with Annapolis and Glen Burnie as Jenkins takes it out to the 10-yard line.
People will be parking up near Route 32 for that Old Mill Arundel game.
Well, Old Mill already, even though we're in week 4, they've already played 3 playoff teams from last season already.
Yep, no question. It's a tough opening stretch, and to come out of that 3-1, hey, with a quarterback still youthful in his development, there you see South River's schedule.
Just
Annapolis,
brutal. It's
Severna Park, Broadneck, and Southern.
Those are 4 very difficult games, and 2 of those on the road at Annapolis and at Broadneck. As Enders takes it on the far side, he's got a man, Drew Coates, wide open at the 45-yard line, spins off a tackle to the 40. To the 30, Coates to the 20, maintains his footing Touchdown, Drew Coates.
Touchdown.
89 yards.
Drew Coates for All County. Start the campaign right now. Joe, he does all of the grunt work, the third down stuff, driving the guy past the flag, keeping the drives alive. And the big fella right there is showing you a little breakaway speed, getting down the field, beating the defender for the touchdown.
Old Mill, the extra point. And they have their 41st point of the night. The Patriots. And here's a look at the 89-yard touchdown pass.
You look at Coach Enders, and here's the difference, Joe. Enders, for the most part, has had all night to throw the football under very little duress. There you see the balance by Coach, staying on his feet there. Good effort by David Kniesley to try and run him down for South River. Unable to get him. And as you can see, a 41-7 score.
Tonight's game is being telecast by Comcast Sports. Will be replayed tomorrow night.
2 plays, 94 yards. The drive taking just 55 seconds off the clock. As you see, 8:03 left to go here at Papetti Field. They're going to do a rededication of Papetti Field later in this season as some of the final pieces have been put together here for this stadium. His grandson actually plays for the JV team, so they're going to do it later in the season.
I was going to say, his son, Joe, great lacrosse coach in the Davidsonville program for many years now.
Long will take it at the 14 to the 20, 25, up across the 30 to the 34-yard line. With 7:54 to go here in the fourth quarter, Old Mill comfortably in front, 41-7, and we also have now, because of the score, at 34 points, the still running down with 7:35 to go.
It's interesting. They stop it now finally because it's a 34-point spread. It's 35 when you get a running clock, so they kept their clock running there on the change of possession there, and they probably shouldn't have.
So South River actually lost about 25 seconds on that. Cooper, play action fake, and he's got a completion to Alderman. Alderman with a first down to the 45-yard line, 46-yard line.
This is time right now where Steve Erksleben and his staff find out who want to keep playing on this football team. This is 2 tough back-to-back losses for the Seahawks team, and now you find out who wants to continue and give it all for the ball club as opposed to just the individual glory of wearing the uniform.
Cooper couldn't handle the snap, and he has to fall down on it, a loss of the play. A loss of 6 yards. Updated numbers for you on Grant Enders: 11 for 16 for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns passing, and an interception. He also has 44 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Drew Coates, 7 catches, 176 yards, and 1 touchdown. 2nd and 16, Cooper. Under pressure once again, steps out of it. Down the field, incomplete. Pass was intended for Ryan Thrift and knocked down by A.J. Butler.
Yeah, nice shot by Butler over there with Curtis Goddard in the area, breaking on the football. And gotta love the Goddards, Dwayne and Curtis, playing out there for the Patriots right now is Damian Ferragamo with a lot of subs in on that defense.
I got early dibs on Drew Coates for Player of the Week this week in Anne Arundel County. 7 for
Stranger things
176 and a touchdown.
See Aaron Gray from the Capitol over on the Old Mill sideline right now. Perhaps some politicking going on right now.
3rd down, 16 yards to go. Cooper throws across his body, and it's picked off. Intercepted by the Patriots. Tion Jones with the pick for the Patriots. Cooper's 5th interception this evening.
Again, another break on the Now this is a backup. This is a reserve safety for the Patriots. Shows you
and this is just a tough spot.
And Jones just quick. I mean, he just stepped right in front of Alderman and made the play.
Jones part of a nice secondary with a lot of depth. And turnovers, South River now with 5, all interceptions, Old Mill with a couple. Enders threw an interception, and we also have an interception off a halfback option play. I formation for the Patriots. New quarterback in for Old Mill. Van Marshall, number 80.
Incomplete pass.
That's a great quarterback number. He's made a couple tackles on special teams tonight.
Incomplete pass, so second down and 10.
Stops clock with 6:20 to go here in this one.
Yeah, you don't see too many 80s running the offense. No. Mike Tice was a quarterback in college. He wore 80 in the professional ranks, but he didn't wear 80 while he was playing quarterback. We have some movement on the right side of the line for the Patriots, so that'll back them up 5 yards.
Moving early that time. Josh Gross, the big tight end, flinched enough to get called for the penalty there.
Second half possessions for South River tonight. 3 and out and a punt. They got a first down and a punt. Then they turned it over on downs, and the last drive ended in an interception. So second down and 15 for the Patriots.
As we said earlier, Joe, when you make mistakes against good football teams, it doesn't take long for them to bury you. And that's what Old Mill did. South River made the early miscues. Old Mill just put the game away.
Hunter can't handle the handoff. He gets it back. No gain that time for Dominique. Third down and 15 for the Patriots. Clock running with 6:05 to play.
I don't think you're going to see too much here from Damian Ferragamo. Probably not going to throw any bombs or anything at this point, but is trying to keep the clock moving, giving the backups a chance to play in here. Got to give those guys up front, Joe, an awful lot of credit. The starting offensive line anchored by the center, Ethan Brown. Those guys have done a super job tonight, plowing the road. Bishop, McKernan, Hamilton, and Zimmerman, they deserve a huge tip of the cap tonight because they've kept Grant Anders standing up, unlike his counterpart, Bobby Cooper, who's been running for his life all night.
Hunter with the handoff, with some room to the right side, cuts inside. He'll pick up 8 yards. He's still going to be about 7 shy of a first down.
Brought down by Philip Clay.
So fourth down upcoming for the Patriots.
And it looks like they will go for it here in this field position. Drew Lee's running back as if he's going to receive a punt, and they're not going to punt. Quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage. See if South River calls a timeout. Yep, they're going to have to waste a timeout here because they've got punt return unit on the field.
So Erk Slavin, the head coach for the Seahawks, will take a timeout.
Timeout
with 4:53 to go here in the fourth quarter. Timeout on the field. We'll step aside. It's been Old Mill. They lead it 41-7.
The model year-end clearance 10 event is going on now at your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers. It's the perfect time to drive the new vehicle you've always wanted and get the best warranty in the business. Right now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% APR financing for 72 months on Chrysler Town & Country, Jeep Commander, or Dodge Durango, or get up to $6,000 cash allowance on select models. Plus, get the best warranty in the business, our exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty. That's an offer no one else matches. Hurry, the model year-end clearance 10 event ends soon at your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers.
Mark your calendars for the 12th Annual Baltimore Book Festival, the Mid-Atlantic's premier celebration of the literary arts. Located at historic Mount Vernon Place, meet your favorite national and local celebrity authors. Enjoy poetry readings, children's activities, cookbook demonstrations, and live music. Fun for the whole family from Friday, September 28th through Sunday, September 30th at the Baltimore Book Festival. For more information, check us on the web or call 1-877-BALTIMORE.
4:53 to go, fourth quarter. Old Mill leads it 41-7. They took the early 6-0 lead. South River came back off the turnover.
Actually led 7-6.
Led 7-6, and since then, it's been all Old Mill. Out of the shotgun formation.
Head linesman throwing a flag late here at the snap.
So my calculations would be 35 unanswered for Old Mill. I did graduate from Southern High School.
That's okay. They had great math teachers like Carolyn Knowles and Tom Priester, who were outstanding mathematics instructors.
It's a shame, really. Southern South River, longtime rivals, obviously, 7, 8 miles apart. and they don't play in the last week of the season anymore. It was a change made a couple years ago. Here's 4th and long, up for grabs. It's going to be incomplete. Marshall shows a nice arm there, but Old Mill will turn it over on downs, and South River will take over 1st and 10. But about 3 or 4 years ago, Anne Arundel County changed the schedule formats. Don't have as many as the rivalry games to end the season, and I think that hurts things a little bit. And now you have, in the middle of the season, Southern and South River going head-to-head.
Greg LeGrand, the head of the sports now for the Anne Arundel County Board of Education. Greg, you have an opportunity to enact change. Let the Annapolis and Severna Parks, or the Severna Park Broadnecks of the world. Southern
North
plays
County, Glen
Annapolis
Burnie.
now. Right, North County, Glen Burnie, people like that. That's the way it should be. It should be Southern South River. Should be Annapolis, Severna Park. But,
New quarterback in for the Seahawks. Joey Rodalone. With the incompletion.
Appreciate the South River cheerleaders and student body.
Well, I'll give credit. Nobody's left this place. This place is still packed here on homecoming night.
With the Naval Academy's I Believe That We Will Win chant down there.
I mean, that's impressive. The Old Mill fans are.
Well, they were tailgating in the parking lot before we came in here. That's because we saw them doing that at Spalding a couple of weeks ago, too, as well.
There you see Dominic Ferragamo to your right, the head football coach for the Old Mill Patriots.
Got to be pleased.
Some of the push-ups being done in the stands by the South River fans. Pickup of 3 yards there.
In that case, if they were following the same rules, they'd only have to do 7 tonight, so that's not too bad. Unlike the midshipmen, the brigade, who the last couple of weeks had to do an awful lot of push-ups, including 46 last week.
Jarrell Anthony with that last carry for South River. Anthony, a sophomore that they're pretty high on, 5'8", 165-pounder. 3rd down, 8 yards to go for South River. Clock moving with exactly 4 minutes to play. Rodalone to the near sideline. It's complete, and that's going to give the Seahawks yardage close to a 1st down. Diambra with the reception, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Seahawks.
Tim Diambra doing a nice job coming back to the ball. His quarterback's running for his life here, and Diambra came back toward his quarterback. He didn't run away from him like, a lot of times you'll see that, but Diambra did a nice job fundamentally coming back to the football, making the completion. I know the South River team is much better in this effort, Joe. I saw Northeast last week. I don't think Northeast is that bad, and this South River team handled Northeast, bottled up their outstanding quarterback, Michael Tibbs. But for whatever happened the last 2 weeks, they just have not had it.
1st down pass is incomplete. Lewandowski, the intended recipient of that pass.
Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
South River came out of the gate, won 34-6 against Glen Burnie. Came back next week, won 26-6. That first game, Long had over 200 yards rushing. Lee went for 158. Cooper throws 4 touchdowns in the next game. And really, offensively, they weren't able to get much done last week against Chesapeake, and they fall on a late second field goal by Roby.
12-11.
Justin Roby hit a 21-yard field goal with 7 seconds left last week to defeat the Seahawks. Anthony to the left side for a couple yards.
And you got to feel for the Chesapeake kids who just have not had a lot of overall success for many years within that program. And, the school's up that way. There's a reason why Glen Burnie and for a few years there, North County, Chesapeake, Northeast. They've not enjoyed a lot of success because the better kids from those areas are ending up in the MIAA. We're going to Spalding now, playing in the B Conference, or playing for Mount St. Joe and Calvert Hall and people like that now.
3rd down and 9. Rodalone tackled out of bounds. Another sack for the Old Mill Patriots. And a late flag comes out. A really late flag, as you guys got a chance to look at that flag flying.
And you know, at this point in the game, Joe, the score's out of hand, and, you know, the mouths continue to run out there, and the South River kids are frustrated. The Oldville kids are gloating because they're obviously winning the game by a wide margin. And, you know, you're seeing typical behavior from 15, 16, 17-year-old kids in this situation who are just having a bad night.
15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty will be marched off against the Seahawks. And that's another thing. If you look at the storyline for this game, it's obviously the 5 South River turnovers. They've killed themselves that way. They've also really hurt themselves. I know Steve Erkslaven's not going to be happy with all the penalties tonight. They really have never got anything going. They took a lead 7-6, but as we mentioned, 35 straight points from Old Mill. And they've kind of pushed their way past the Seahawks tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it comes back to when you make mistakes against good people make you pay for those mistakes. Now with 4th down upcoming, 4th down and about 60 yards.
Not that much.
They're going to send the punt team on. Or it looks like the punt team anyway, because Cooper's back out there.
The ball at the South River 37. They need to get to the Old Mill 35 for
yeah, I mean,
first down.
It's just one of those cases, Joe. I mean, you know Steve Erkslaven and his staff. He's got too many good assistant coaches for this team to remain in a rut like this. They're going to get it going. They're going to get back on the good foot here. You know, Annapolis is a winnable game next week. There's no question about that. Panthers have struggled this year. And it's ironic, Joe, you look at teams like South River and Annapolis, they were the cream of the crop in the late 70s and early 80s under great men like Joe Papetti and the late Al Larimore. And, you know, it's all cyclical. I mean, you're all, you know, you're at the mercy of who shows up coming through your public school doors. And
so on 4th and nearly 40.
The
South
punt
River
was good for a first down.
Hunt did get a first down by 3 yards.
And, you know, South River, I mean, you know, we talked about those northern county schools. You know, South River loses a lot of kids to St. Mary's and DeMatha in all sports. You know, when you talk about the recruiting wars, and there you see the total yardage numbers right there for Damian Ferragamo's team.
South River last week limited to 161 yards against Chesapeake and just 163 tonight against Old Mill. That can't continue if they're going to have a successful season for the Seahawks.
And they've got to get back to running the football. I mean, they've got to get back to their personality, and that's running the football down people's throat. That's what they do best. They've got the skills to do it. They've got the talent to do it, as Old Mill has a 3rd quarterback now into the game.
Matt Thompson. Thompson picks up about a yard with 2:05 to go. Second down and 9.
Really impressed, Joe, with Old Mill. Really impressed. And we saw Broadneck, and we saw Arundel. And, you know, I've seen several of the teams now in the county, and, you know, I think once you get past Arundel, Broadneck, and Old Mill, there is a noticeable drop-off after those 3 teams right now in the county. You know, Southern beats Vernon Park 7-0. Severna Park pummeled Annapolis last week, 42-15. Southern loses to Northeast by 1. South River beats Northeast by 20. Once you get past those top 3 teams, I think everybody else is close to the same.
Second down and 9. It's Hunter. Modest gain for maybe a yard. 3rd and long upcoming with 1:15 left to go in this one.
Be interesting to see how this weekend's action shakes out. As we mentioned earlier, Arundel down the road at Southern tonight in what should be a really good football game. So I think these standings are going to be interesting to keep an eye on a week-by-week basis. But circle October 26th. If you're a football fan, circle that date in Anne Arundel County if you're an Anne Arundel County football fan when Old Mill and Arundel hook up.
We'll see, and CN8 will be at the October 19th matchup between the Arundel Wildcats and Severna Park. And Severna Park seemed like they got things straightened out last week as a nice spin move.
Pat Morrison in that game for Severna Park last week threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, and scored a defensive touchdown, returning a fumble. It was 89 yards for a score in that one for the Falcons last week.
This large homecoming crowd starting to filter out of the stadium as the traffic will increase here on Route 214 as the clock will wind down. Another play will not be run, and Old Mill will improve to 3-1 on the season. South River drops to 2-2. Final score, Old Mill 41, South River 7.
The model year-end clearance 10 event is going on now at your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers. It's the perfect time to drive the new vehicle you've always wanted and get the best warranty in the business. Right now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% APR financing for 72 months on Chrysler Town & Country, Jeep Commander, or Dodge Durango, or get up to $6,000 cash allowance on select models. Plus, get the best warranty in the business, our exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty. That's an offer no one else matches. Hurry, the model year-end clearance 10 event ends soon at your Chrysler Jeep and Dodge dealers.
CN8's One-on-One with Steve Adubato.
This is the show you've been waiting to see.
Fascinating guests. I love her. In-depth conversations.
It's exciting.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato. Weeknights at 5:30 on CN8, the Comcast network.
The first sport utility vehicle. The first full-time four-wheel drive. And now, Jeep introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business, and no other car company matches it. So come and check out our largest lineup of Jeep vehicles ever with our exclusive lifetime warranty. Now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 72 months on Jeep Commander.
Come dance with us. Experience the joy of dancing with Dance Vision, the world leader in teaching people how to dance. Our teaching system is like taking a private lesson in your own home. You can choose from hundreds of dance lessons customized to your abilities. Our proven methods can turn even an absolute beginner into a great dancer. Whether you want to learn for a special occasion or for a lifetime of enjoyment, let Dance Vision get you started on your exciting dance adventure today.
CN8 Sports, we've got you covered every weekend, all season long. Sports you can't get anywhere else. Catch the action. CN8 Sports, we've got you covered. Only on CN8, the Comcast network.
Final score, Old Mill 41, South River 7. A dominating effort by the Old Mill Patriots tonight, Pete.
And it all starts with the quarterback. And with Grant Ender's play, and you see the total yards, Joe. Ender's on the night, 11 for 16, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Rushing, he had 8 runs for 44 yards. He had 2 rushing TDs. His ability to not make mistakes for Old Mill and their defense's ability to shut down the vaunted South River running game, really, it was the two big things in this football game. Old Mill made few mistakes offensively, and their defense made South River play into an awful lot of them. The 5 interceptions by South River offensively. And that's the one thing. I thought South River, Joe, got away from their personality a little bit too quickly in that first half. And that's why this game ended up opening up into a 41-7 type game.
Yeah, Old Mill holds South River minus 10 yards, and they just could not protect Cooper. South River could not. 7 sacks tonight by the Old Mill defense.
And with that 3-5, it gives Old Mill so much versatility with their speedy linebackers. They were coming from everywhere. Outside right, outside left. They'd shoot linebackers up the middle. Nigel Pierce, Pinckney was outstanding. Joey Hall was also outstanding. Edwards had a terrific night running around back there, making all kinds of plays for Old Mill.
And Drew Coates, we talked about him, 7 catches, 176 yards, including that 89-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, so it's a breakaway. But what he did early in the football game, Joe, was on 3rd down. We constantly harped on the way Old Mill was converting 3rd downs. Coates getting beyond the marker, coming back to the football, extending drives for Old Mill.
All right, final score tonight, Old Mill 41, South River 7. For Joe.